As the band takes center stage, anticipation fills the air as fans eagerly await their words of gratitude. Hae-in steps forward, microphone in hand, and expresses heartfelt thanks to the enthusiastic crowd for listening to their music. By her side, Yeo-un's appearance is met with a brief, telling glance that hints at a deeper connection between them. The band members banter about heading out after the event reveals Hae-in's uncertainty, while they simultaneously thank fans once more and encourage social media follow-ups and attendance at their next show. As the sun dips below the horizon, Hae-in and Yeo-un stepped out of the band audition, their minds buzzing with possibilities. "I'll ride with you to your car," Hae-in said, her voice laced with a subtle warmth that didn't go unnoticed by Yeo-un. As they strolled towards his vehicle, he checked the time, revealing his commitments as a band member and the responsibilities that came with it. But amidst the seriousness, Hae-in's eyes sparkled with delight when she discovered the secluded spot nearby. Her curiosity piqued. She asked about its origins, her adventure-seeking nature shining through. Yeo-un, sensing an opportunity to share a glimmer of excitement, hinted at a potential big performance on the weekend, captivating Hae-in's attention. As they walked away together, their steps synchronized in perfect harmony, it became clear that this fleeting moment was more than just a casual encounter. It was a whispered promise of something deeper. As night falls, a nostalgic flashback transports us back to a rock-themed DJ party where Hae-in and Yeo-un shared unforgettable moments together in the past. The present takes over when Hae-in invites Yeo-un for a sweet treat, her desire to spend quality time with him palpable. However, Yeo-un's hasty departure leaves Hae-in wondering if their priorities align. Despite this, she trusts him enough to relinquish control, offering an open-ended answer to his ice cream inquiry. Yeo-un agrees to get both flavors, and in doing so, seals their bond. As Hae-in proudly unfolds the booking calendar for her student band before Yeo-un's eyes, her excitement is palpable. The packed schedule is a testament to their growing musical prowess, and she can't help but beam with pride as she shares this achievement with someone close to her heart. Yeo-un's enthusiastic reaction only adds fuel to the fire, his words of encouragement and praise further validating Hae-in's passion for music. As they revel in their busy schedule, it becomes clear that their bond is growing stronger, fueled by a shared love of performance and a desire to succeed. With bookings solid until closing time, the stage is set for future challenges and opportunities, leaving viewers eager to see what's next for this talented duo. As Hae-in shares her exhaustion from festival season with Yeo-un, their casual conversation reveals the depth of their friendship and the comfort they share in each other's company. When Yeo-un invites her to listen to his school's band practice at a nearby university, Hae-in's initial hesitation gives way to curiosity, despite her reservations about judging their performance. Yeo-un reassures her that it's not about being critical, but about enjoying the music and camaraderie. With her friend by her side, Hae-in's introverted nature slowly unravels, replaced by a playful sense of humor as they bond over their shared passion for music. As the evening unfolds, an unexpected twist sets the tone for an unforgettable night. Yeo-un's surprise dinner invitation to Hae-in, a gesture that leaves her both bewildered and intrigued. With no warning, he poses the question, sending shockwaves through her usually reserved demeanor. As she queries his motives, Yeo-un reveals a deeper longing for structure in their relationship, a desire that only adds to the palpable tension between them. Hae-in's playful jabs about past misadventures and impulsive decisions serve as a comedic respite from the growing unease, while her introverted nature is laid bare, hinting at the true depth of her emotions. As the night wears on, it becomes clear that this dinner invitation has sparked a chain reaction, unraveling the complexities of their unrequited feelings and paving the way for a journey of self-discovery. As Hae-in stands lost in thought, her gaze drifts into the distance, her mind wrestling with the turbulent emotions that threaten to consume her. She speaks aloud, her words a reflection of her inner turmoil, someone who can be buried beneath their passions, yet still manage to laugh. The hint of longing is palpable as she searches for a connection, a spark that resonates with her own creative aspirations. As Hae-in and Yeo-un sit together, an air of intimacy settles between them. Their conversation turns introspective when Hae-in asks why Yeo-un is so invested in getting to know her better, prompting him to reveal his desire for a deeper connection. As they share their love for spicy food and enjoy their ice cream, the distance between them shrinks. In this tender moment, Hae-in agrees with Yeo-un's assessment, signaling her willingness to open up and connect on a deeper level. The understanding that they share similar tastes serves as a reminder of their growing bond, solidifying the strength of their relationship. As Hae-in and Yeo-un sit together at school, a palpable sense of unease settles over Hae-in's typically reserved demeanor. Noticing her friend's distress, Yeo-un asks what's wrong, prompting Hae-in to wrestle with the weight of her true feelings for him. With gentle prodding from Yeo-un, Hae-in's hesitation gives way to a heartfelt confession, one that reveals a deeper vulnerability and trust in their relationship. As Yeo-un absorbs this revelation, his expression softens into a mix of surprise and gratitude, marking a turning point in the dynamics between them. The tender moment that follows is filled with an undeniable sense of relief and intimacy, as Hae-in's willingness to take risks sets the stage for future developments in their blossoming romance. As Hae-in wanders through a winter wonderland, snowflakes gently falling around her, she becomes lost in thought. Her mind whispers secrets savoring the cold and soft sensation of the frosty air, while her tongue tingles with the taste of lemon. The tranquility is interrupted by Yeo-un's arrival, and their brief conversation hints at a longing for adventure. With an air of uncertainty, Hae-in proposes they embark on a journey together, leaving the viewer wondering what lies ahead. As the message about their next band performance arrives, Hae-in springs into action, preparing for the high-energy event that's just around the corner. As she gets ready, her thoughts drift to her emotions and relationships, particularly the complex feelings she harbors towards Yeo-un. Her introspection is interrupted by an encounter with him in the hallway, where he's walking at a brisk pace, his usually calm demeanor now tinged with anxiety or distraction. Hae-in's inability to read his face only adds to the tension, hinting at the deep-seated emotions that lie beneath their relationship's surface. As tensions simmer beneath the surface, Hae-in's frustration boils over as she unleashes a torrent of words at Yeo-un, her annoyance palpable in every syllable. But before he can respond, Yeo-un hastens away, leaving Hae-in feeling unheard and unappreciated, her emotions raw and exposed. In the wake of his hasty departure, Hae-in makes the difficult decision to bid him farewell, a possible response to his thoughtless actions. As they part ways, Yeo-un's gratitude towards Hae-in for her time hangs in the air, a subtle acknowledgement of the palpable tension between them. As the spotlight shines on Hae-in, she stands frozen, lost in thought amidst the silence of her music room. The air is thick with tension as Yeo-un enters, bringing a much-needed distraction from the turmoil brewing within her mind. The conversation that follows is a gentle dance, weaving together discussions of their band's upcoming performance and the mounting pressure they face. But beneath the surface, Hae-in is wrestling with emotions she dares not speak aloud, fearing rejection or awkwardness will shatter the delicate balance between them. Yeo-un senses her turmoil, offering words of encouragement that coax Hae-in to open up, to be vulnerable, to let go. And as they share this moment of raw emotion, a glimmer of possibility crackles in the air, hinting at a romance yet to bloom. As Hae-in stood alongside Yeo-un in front of the whiteboard, surrounded by remnants of their musical endeavors, she couldn't help but feel a sense of reluctance wash over her. The realization that summer break had finally arrived was met with a mix of emotions, as she bid farewell to the familiarity of school life and the comfort it brought. With Din's arrival, signaling the end of their time together, Hae-in's vulnerability shone through in her words as she expressed her uncertainty about the future. Yeo-un's gentle smile offered reassurance, hinting at a deeper connection between them that Hae-in was hesitant to acknowledge. As she took the initiative to sign off with a bold "Bye, see you next time" on the blackboard, Hae-in walked away from this moment, leaving behind a sense of anticipation and longing for what lay ahead. As Hae-in wanders through the park, lost in thought, Yeo-un suddenly appears beside her, discussing their band's upcoming performance with an enthusiasm that only serves to highlight Hae-in's growing unease. Her hesitation and awkwardness create a palpable tension between them, which Yeo-un attempts to dissipate with jokes about their music. But despite his efforts, Hae-in remains distant, her frustration and anxiety at the pressure of school life weighing heavily on her shoulders. As they continue to talk, it becomes clear that Hae-in is struggling to open up about her true feelings, her vulnerability and awkwardness on full display as she grapples with her emotions and relationships. As night descends upon the city, Hae-in sits alone on the rooftop, lost in thought, her mind a jumble of emotions. The sky above seems to mirror her turmoil, with stars twinkling like tears in the darkness. But before she can wallow in her solitude for too long, Yeo-un appears, his arrival a gentle disturbance in the stillness. He joins her on the rooftop, attempting to offer comfort after a difficult day at school. As they sit together, Hae-in's body language and facial expressions betray her inner turmoil, revealing a vulnerable side that she struggles to keep hidden. Despite Yeo-un's efforts to reassure her, an awkward silence falls between them, punctuated only by the distant hum of city life. The scene ends with Hae-in gazing at Yeo-un, her emotions in flux, as if on the cusp of acknowledging the romantic feelings that have been growing within her. As Hae-in stood there, she was caught off guard by Yeo-un's sudden and unexpected advance. The world around her seemed to freeze as he pressed his lips to hers, leaving her reeling with a mix of emotions and confusion. She tried to brush off the feeling, muttering whatever under her breath, but couldn't shake the dizziness that had taken hold of her. As she struggled to process this sudden turn of events, Hae-in felt an unfamiliar sensation stirring within her, like a bubbling cauldron threatening to overflow its banks. As Hae-in arrived at room C, her mind was focused on preparing for tonight's music session with her student band. She took charge, asking if anyone needed extra mics or cables, showcasing her attention to detail as a dedicated member of the group. But just as she began to set up, Yeo-un appeared, and Hae-in felt her composure start to slip away. Overwhelmed by her emotions, she was torn between revealing her vulnerable side to others, including Yeo-un, or donning a mask to hide her true feelings. As the weight of her frustration bears down on her, Hae-in's gaze drifts from the textbooks spread out before her, her mind wandering to the comforting thought of a warm shower at home. But her restlessness proves too much to contain, and she begins to scribble notes in her book, a visual representation of her turbulent emotions. The lines blur together as Annie's words seem to echo through her thoughts, though their exact conversation remains unclear. Overwhelmed by the cacophony of feelings inside her, Hae-in's desperation grows, her anxiety simmering just below the surface. In a moment of vulnerability, she turns to Yeo-un as an outlet for her pent-up emotions, the call out a testament to her inner turmoil. As Hae-in and Yeo-un sit together, an air of unease hangs between them like a fragile thread. She attempts to break the silence by asking about their shared song, but her words are laced with hesitation, as if she's unsure of how to bridge the gap between them. Yeo-un senses her discomfort and responds with a gentle tone, describing the song in vivid detail, cold, soft, and lemon-sweet, his words painting a picture that seems to resonate deeply with Hae-in. Her expression shifts from guarded to vulnerable, as if she's slowly unlocking a part of herself she long kept hidden. But just as it seems like they are on the cusp of something profound, Hae-in hastily tries to brush off the moment, and an awkward silence falls over them, leaving their emotions unspoken but palpable. As Hae-in strolls into the whiskey bar on her day off, she's interrupted by a regular customer who senses her reluctance to be disturbed. Little does she know, Yeo-un has coincidentally walked into the same bar, trying to pretend not to notice her. The air is thick with tension as both characters are acutely aware of each other's presence, yet they are hesitant to acknowledge it. Hae-in's thoughts are revealed in a flashback, showcasing her deep desires for connection and affection. As she tries to navigate this awkward situation, her introverted personality is on full display, highlighting her vulnerability and emotional intelligence. The scene ends with an unmistakable sense of unrequited love hanging in the balance, leaving viewers eagerly anticipating what's next for these two complex characters. As Hae-in strolls along the beachside path, a gentle melody escapes her lips, as she hums to herself in perfect harmony with the rising tide. Her joy is infectious, drawing Ji-won's attention to her radiant smile and carefree demeanor. "What's got you so cheerful today?" Ji-won asks, curiosity etched on her face. Hae-in simply shrugs, attributing her happiness to a lovely morning filled with music. Unbeknownst to them, Hyun-hee observes their interaction from the background, concern clouding his expression. As MSO steps out to restock the milk, she leaves Hae-in waiting for just 5 more minutes. But before she can return, an unexpected guest appears, drawing Hae-in into a conversation that probes the depths of her relationships. With a hint of curiosity, the unknown character likely Ji-won inquires about Hae-in's romantic life, prompting a guarded response from our protagonist, who merely shrugs and says not bad. The discussion takes a turn as the other offers words of wisdom, urging Hae-in to seek guidance if her creative passions ever falter. As the conversation unfolds, we catch glimpses of Hae-in's inner struggles with self-doubt, highlighting the intricate dynamics at play in her relationships and creative pursuits. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the evening atmosphere, Hae-in finds herself caught in a web of conflicting emotions. Ji-won's offer to buy drinks sparks a sense of curiosity within her, as she questions why this person would take an interest in her life. As their conversation unfolds, Hae-in reveals her growing feelings for Ji-won, but is met with the harsh reality that these emotions are not reciprocated. The weight of unrequited love settles upon her, and she begins to wonder why Ji-won would even bother talking to her if there was no romantic spark. Amidst this emotional turmoil, Ji-won's words strike a chord as she acknowledges her own uncertainties and the need for honest communication in their relationship. As the evening wears on, Hae-in is left to grapple with the complexities of her feelings, forced to confront the blurred lines between friendship and romance. As the conversation unfolds, Hae-in begins by praising someone's remarkable height, but it's what follows that truly reveals her sharp observational skills. She notes their tidiness and organization, perceiving them as diligent, a trait they may not have even realized themselves. The person seems taken aback by Hae-in's insight, almost as if she's seeing behind their thought depth. With a hint of curiosity, Hae-in asks if it's unusual for her to notice such details about someone, leaving the other person to ponder her words. This candid exchange not only showcases Hae-in's creative and artistic nature, but also hints at a deeper connection or understanding between the two individuals. As Hae-in takes a moment to ponder the unexpected turn of events in her life, she finds herself reflecting on the serendipitous encounter that set her down this path with Ji-won. The memory of ordering food sparks a conversation about eating in, and it's during this casual exchange that Hae-in reveals her surprise at just how similar Ji-won is to herself, a realization that hints at a deeper connection between them. As the scene flashes back to their humble beginnings at the train station, it becomes clear that their relationship was always meant to be, despite its unconventional start. As Hae-in pored over a cherished memory, her mind whirled with doubts about Sin-young's intentions. Had she been too hasty in opening up to him again? The uncertainty was palpable as Sin-young approached, and Hae-in's nerves got the better of her, causing her words to falter. Sin-young attempted to soothe her concerns, suggesting he had simply been being straightforward, but Hae-in remained unconvinced. As their conversation stumbled along, Sin-young asked what was on Hae-in's mind, and she stammered an awkward response. The tension dissipated as Sin-young reassured her that he would move on, praising her for being a good person, leaving Hae-in feeling embarrassed by her own vulnerability. As Hae-in stands alongside Sin-young in a dimly lit alleyway, the air is thick with tension as their conversation takes a dramatic turn. Sin-young's cryptic words about their future together spark Hae-in's frustration and fear, her voice laced with anxiety as she warns of the possibility of being cruelly dumped by her partner. But Sin-young remains nonchalant, responding with eerie remarks about being cursed or clocking out, leaving Hae-in to accuse him of hexing her. As Hae-in's thoughts swirl with uncertainty, the weight of her doubts settles heavily upon her. It begins when Hyun-hee expresses concern about her stagnant music career, urging her to take bold risks to propel her forward. The pressure is palpable as she receives a call from Ji-won, his frustration evident in his tone as he waits for answers about their plans. Overwhelmed by the expectations of others, Hae-in's mind races with anxiety, and she starts to question her own abilities. In a moment of hesitation, she contemplates sending a good-night message to Ji-won instead of meeting up that night, a testament to her inner turmoil as she struggles to balance her creative aspirations with the external pressures that surround her. As the celebratory atmosphere fills the air, the team is met with an enthusiastic announcement. Great work on the collab, everyone. Hae-in, too, can't help but join in on the revelry, beaming with pride at her own contribution to the project. As they share stories of their hard work and dedication, a curious inquiry arises about the release date for their collaborative masterpiece. Ji-won obliges, revealing that the teaser will go live on the 20th, prompting encouragement to spread the excitement across Instagram. As Hae-in's thoughts wandered, a sense of unease settled over her, stemming from a lingering issue that had been weighing on her mind. Yet, just as she was about to become lost in the complexity of it all, a sudden realization snapped her back into focus. The album cover was finally complete. The news brought a wave of excitement, and with it a chance for her artistic vision to be shared with others. As Hae-in delved deeper into the finished product, she was surprised by the thoughtful feedback from an anonymous admirer. Their words of praise resonated deeply, as they lauded the design's ability to perfectly capture her artistic style, even going so far as to pinpoint specific details that hinted at Yoo-kin's influence. The genuine appreciation and understanding left Hae-in beaming with pride and amazement, her initial concerns momentarily forgotten in the face of such heartfelt validation. As the unknown person inquires about Hae-in's recent activities, she reveals a plethora of creative projects, with demos stacked up and a determination to finish one soon. Her diligence is praised by the other party, but beneath the surface lies exhaustion, a lingering consequence of her grueling collaboration. Despite trying to downplay it, Hae-in admits to being overwhelmed, her normally bright energy now dulled by fatigue. This intimate conversation not only showcases Hae-in's dedication to her craft, but also hints at the unknown person's close connection with her, perhaps even a fan who intimately understands her creative process. As Hae-in finally takes the leap and launches her own music label, "Launching my label," a sense of accomplishment washes over her. Ji-won's words of encouragement and surprise hint at the doubts others may have about her ability to succeed on her own, but Hae-in remains resolute in her determination to take control of her career. Despite the risks and uncertainties that lie ahead, she reveals that it will be a solo venture for now, hinting at the internal struggles she faces as she navigates this new chapter. As Hae-in sat down with representatives of Watermelon Sounds, the air was thick with anticipation. Her hesitation and indecision were palpable as she considered which artists to sign, her mind racing with the weight of responsibility. The representatives, seemingly well prepared, revealed their label's identity, and Hae-in's eyes narrowed in calculation. She probed them about their vision, her own creative aspirations simmering just beneath the surface. "I want to sign artists who push boundaries," she declared, her voice firm and resolute. As the meeting drew to a close, an invitation to take a break outside hung in the air, a moment of reprieve from the intense discussion. The outcome was far from certain, but one thing was clear: Hae-in's future hung precariously in the balance. As Hae-in's excitement over a potential collaboration with a renowned artist reaches a fever pitch, Ji-won's skepticism brings her plans to a screeching halt. The well-known artist's involvement sparks heated debate as the two women engage in a passionate discussion, their differing opinions on the project clashing like stormy waves. Hae-in defends her vision, touting the benefits of working with a more established name, while Ji-won's concerns about artistic integrity send their conversation hurtling towards rocky shores. As frustration and disappointment begin to set in, Hae-in's determination is put to the test as she grapples with the daunting prospect of failure and self-doubt, her creative ambitions hanging precariously in the balance. As Hae-in responds to Ji-won's inquiry about not liking her current label, a subtle undercurrent of tension becomes palpable. Confusion etched on her face, She asks what Ji-won means by her words, prompting an accusation that Hae-in is being cryptic and secretive. But Hae-in refuses to be intimidated, revealing that she hasn't uttered a word yet, effectively turning the tables on Ji-won's implied manipulation. As their conversation progresses, it becomes clear that Ji-won has ulterior motives, attempting to throw Hae-in off signing with Long Afternoon in exchange for her support. But Hae-in is not one to be swayed easily, questioning Ji-won's true intentions and accusing her of trying to control her every move. As the conversation reaches a boiling point, it becomes evident that their dynamic has been riddled with power imbalances and manipulation from the very beginning. As the conversation unfolded between Hyun-hee and Hae-in, a turning point emerged for the young musician. With unwavering confidence, Hyun-hee encouraged Hae-in to take her talents to the next level, recognizing that she was being underutilized in the underground music scene. The suggestion sparked a new sense of possibility as Hyun-hee envisioned Hae-in performing on a big stage, whether it be at a festival or solo concert with a large crowd. As Ji-won's words of admiration resonate with her, Hae-in's aspirations begin to stir. She reveals a contentment with playing sessions for Seonmyeong band, hinting at a lack of ambition that stirs within her a sense of unease. But Hyun-hee's praise for her demos and suggestion that she has the potential to do great things sparks a flame of doubt in her mind. With an upcoming recording session looming on the horizon, Hae-in is forced to confront her own fears and insecurities, her desire for recognition clashing with her reluctance to take risks. As a promotional poster showcasing the band's music comes into view, the message is clear: momentum is building behind their performances. The narrator then speaks directly to us, urging us to support Hae-in by opening that final door for her, fueling our anticipation and investment in her journey. Meanwhile, Hae-in is torn apart by self-doubt and fear of failure as she contemplates the offer before her. But just when all hope seems lost, an unseen figure like Hyun-hee offers reassurance, promising to do everything they can to support her. Yet, it's ultimately emphasized that the decision lies with Hae-in herself, as she holds the key to unlocking her own success. Will she take the risk and seize this opportunity, or will her fear of failure hold her back? The choice is hers alone. As Hae-in stands at the threshold, uncertainty grips her like a vice. Time seems to crawl by as she gazes at the clock, hours ticking away with agonizing slowness. Her thoughts drift back to her music career, and doubts begin to assail her. What's next? Should she keep pursuing her passion or abandon it altogether? The weight of self-doubt settles heavy on her shoulders as she tries to reassure herself that progress has been made, but the uncertainty persists. As Hae-in sits at her piano, a look of frustration settles on her face like a shadow. Her fingers hover over the keys, as if hesitating to unlock the creative potential within. The sound that escapes is aimless and wandering, a reflection of her own uncertain thoughts. Suddenly, she stops, the silence deafening as she gazes at the piano with a mix of disappointment and doubt. Her mind begins to wander, plagued by self-doubt as she wonders if she's lost touch with what once came so effortlessly to her. The words of encouragement from Ji-won echo through her thoughts, but only serve to further cloud her artistic direction, leaving her feeling lost and uncertain about the future of her music. In a discussion that delved into the realm of guitar virtuosity, two musical aficionados found themselves at odds over the merits of Steve Vai and Jimi Hendrix's playing techniques. One individual was adamant that Vai's skillful fingers held the upper hand, citing his technical prowess as proof of superiority. However, the opposing voice countered with a salient point that Vai's very style was influenced by the pioneering work of Hendrix himself, thereby rendering Hendrix the ultimate guitarist. As the debate raged on, it became clear that passion and conviction were at play, each side convinced of their own position in this musical standoff. As tensions rise between two individuals, their friends rush to intervene, pleading with them to calm down. Amidst the chaos, our protagonist attempts to find common ground by sharing a personal struggle of their own, their vulnerability to excessive drinking. The group turns their attention to music, reminiscing about friendly duels that erupt when they indulge in liquor. Someone asks if they are indeed drinking, and the protagonist candidly reveals their limitations, acknowledging they should have spoken up sooner. As the night wears on, a friend suggests dinner plans which our protagonist gladly accepts, seeking solace in camaraderie amidst the turmoil. As the clock strikes 11:30 p.m., Hae-in's thoughts are consumed by the question of how to spend the remainder of the evening with Hae-in. He considers the option of taking the last train, but it soon becomes clear that he has other plans in mind. Instead, he proposes getting a taxi, a suggestion that is met with Hae-in's willingness to ride along. However, Hae-in isn't satisfied with this plan and reveals his true intentions. He wants to stay out and drink the night away with her. As the conversation between our unknown protagonist and Hae-in takes an unexpected turn, it's clear that this is no ordinary discussion about relationships. With a casual mention of someone he wants to meet, the protagonist sends shockwaves through Hae-in, who's left reeling from feelings of betrayal. But as they delve deeper into the topic, the protagonist clarifies his previous statements, revealing a clever distinction between interest in dating and interest in Hae-in's matchmaking efforts. The tension is palpable as Hae-in presses for answers, only to be met with a tongue-in-cheek remark about all the guys she suggested being weird, a jab that sparks a witty repartee between the two. As Hae-in's mind wrestles with his emotions, he finds himself stuck in a cycle of uncertainty, torn between labeling his relationship with Hae-in or keeping it ambiguous. He ponders the possibilities, envisioning scenarios where they are together but with unclear definitions, only to be snapped back to reality by the harsh realities of their tumultuous past. Amidst this inner turmoil, he takes stock of Hae-in's endearing qualities, her kindness and thoughtful nature shining through in his thoughts. But just as quickly, darker visions arise, painting a dire picture of how Hae-in's violent tendencies could disrupt their relationship. As the scene comes to a close, Hae-in acknowledges that this moment was inevitable, hinting at the challenges he knows lie ahead. As he stands face to face with a devoted fan, the focal character is caught off guard by their enthusiasm, quickly downplaying the situation with a light-hearted remark about dating fans. But as the conversation unfolds, it becomes clear that this fan is not so easily deterred, sensing that there's more to the intern than meets the eye. The fan's persistent questioning sparks a confession. The focal character reveals his true identity as long afternoon, but only if it's still a secret. The tension rises as the fan presses for an explanation, highlighting the focal character's deep-seated fears of rejection and hurt. As the truth begins to unravel, our hero finds himself entangled in a web of secrets and doubts. He confesses that he's been hiding something, his words tumbling out in a jumbled mix of surprise and confusion when Hae-in claims to recognize his voice, despite their having no prior conversations. But as they delve deeper into the mystery, he starts to rationalize his actions, pointing out the lack of concrete proof linking them together. Yet Hae-in's persistence only serves to fuel his unease, hinting that she may know more than she lets on. Caught between the desire to reveal his own secrets and the fear of being exposed, our protagonist is torn, his emotions hanging precariously in the balance as he struggles to reconcile his feelings with the uncertain truth. As our mystery hero ponders his true feelings, he begins to reveal a profound truth he's hesitant to confess because he values authenticity in relationships above all else. He rationalizes that it's not a lack of care for the person, but rather a desire for honesty and vulnerability that holds him back. Meanwhile, he finds solace in Hae-in's unapologetic passion for her music, admiring her unwavering commitment to her craft. His introspection also reveals his own high standards, acknowledging that he critiques what's good and bad in everything, including relationships, a testament to his desire for genuine connections. As the protagonist reflects on his encounters with someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, he's inspired to tap into his creative side like never before. Meeting this passionate individual has stirred something within him, driving him to write better songs that resonate deeply. But amidst this newfound spark, a nagging concern arises: what if this person were to discover the truth behind these honest opinions? The thought sends shivers down his spine as he worries that their openness and authenticity would wither away like a fragile flower, replaced by silence and pretense. As the protagonist stands at a crossroads, weighing the risks and rewards of revealing their true self to Hae-in, they struggle to reconcile their desire for openness with the fear of jeopardizing their relationship. The memories of past heartaches linger, making them hesitant to bare their soul, but the longing for genuine connection with Hae-in grows stronger by the day. With a mix of trepidation and sincerity, they begin to open up, hinting at secrets from their past, only to pause and reassess the potential consequences. In this delicate dance between vulnerability and emotional protection, the protagonist grapples with the importance of maintaining harmony in relationships, ultimately forced to confront the fragile balance between honesty and peace of mind. As Yeo reflects on his past relationships and struggles as an immigrant, a poignant vulnerability begins to surface. He reveals that he's learned to keep certain aspects of himself hidden, not just from his current partner, but also from past loves who were eager to dig deeper into his psyche. The memories of his brief, unfulfilling relationships in Korea come flooding back, and with them the weight of his immigrant experience, the struggles to adapt, to belong, to find a sense of identity. But it's not just the pain of those experiences that Yeo is reluctant to share, it's also the fear of being misunderstood, of being seen as weak or vulnerable. And yet, as he grapples with this dichotomy, he comes to realize that not sharing one's vulnerabilities isn't selfishness, but rather a necessary defense mechanism in a world where secrets can be suffocating. As we delve into this poignant moment, we find ourselves grappling alongside our enigmatic focal character as they wrestle with their emotions for Hae-in. The scene begins with a contemplation on the notion of at the end, where our protagonist reveals a deep desire to safeguard their relationship. This introspection is soon followed by a candid conversation about deception and manipulation in love, serving as a poignant reminder of the perils of hiding one's true self. With sage advice, our character implores us to prioritize authenticity, emphasizing that love knows no universal formula. As the scene comes full circle, we're left with a profound understanding of the importance of vulnerability and honesty in our most intimate connections. As PLA stands by the window, lost in thought, a sudden appearance shatters the silence. A mysterious figure materializes, offering sage advice to guide the wayward soul through the labyrinth of emotions and relationships. Take your time, the enigmatic figure cautions, don't rush into decisions or meetings without careful consideration. With each passing moment, PLA's uncertainty begins to dissipate as the reassuring words sink in. It's okay not to be sure about everything right away. As he sips on his coffee, the main character's gaze drifts away from the present, lost in the labyrinth of memories that have shaped him. His pen scratches outwards on a blank page, a cathartic exercise to confront the ghosts of past relationships. He reflects on the failed attempt at vulnerability, how it ended in heartbreak due to his own inability to be genuine. The uncertainty of confessing his feelings to Hae-in hangs heavy in the air, a fear of rejection or hurt that threatens to paralyze him. Yet he ponders the possibility of opening up anew, the risk of vulnerability tempered by the promise of connection. And so he sits, suspended in time, as the weight of his thoughts and emotions swirl around him like a stormy sea. As the day of his first internship approaches, our protagonist's mind is a whirlwind of uncertainty and anxiety. He's torn between celebrating this milestone and exercising caution, unsure if he should splurge on a suit or rent one instead. His thoughts are consumed by indecision as he weighs the pros and cons of each option. But then he refocuses his attention on the task at hand, preparing for the interview itself. With a renewed sense of determination, he vows to strive for perfection in every aspect of the process, echoing the mantra vine per ever a reminder that precision is paramount. As Jae-hoon's thoughts swirl in turmoil, he finds himself stuck in a sea of indecision regarding Hae-in. Alone in his room, he paces back and forth, his emotions wrestling with each other like titans. He begins to write a message to her, but then deletes it, unable to muster the courage to express his true feelings. Frustration boils over as he becomes irritable, torn between the desire to reach out to Hae-in and the fear of being perceived as irresponsible. The weight of his inner struggle grows heavier with each passing moment, leaving Jae-hoon looking troubled and uncertain about his next move. As our story unfolds, we find ourselves amidst the turmoil of the protagonist's inner struggles. Alone at home, he wrestles with the complexities of his emotions for Hae-in, the weight of uncertainty bearing down upon him. A sudden phone call from a friend interrupts this introspection, offering a listening ear and words of encouragement. The friend's personal anecdotes and candid advice spark a revelation within the protagonist, illuminating the importance of vulnerability in relationships. As the conversation draws to a close, our hero finds himself emboldened, deciding to take a leap of faith and confess his true feelings to Hae-in. With this bold move, he begins to chart a new course for himself, one marked by courage, honesty, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. As Manhwa weighs the risks and potential outcomes of confessing his feelings to Hae-in, he's met with a mix of self-doubt and determination. He considers the possibility that she might not respond positively, but reassures himself that it's better to take the chance than live with regret later on. Drawing confidence from knowing Hae-in isn't one to leave someone in the dark without an explanation, Manhwa takes a deep breath and decides to go for it, steeling himself for whatever outcome may come his way. With a newfound sense of resolve, he's left looking determined, ready to finally express his feelings to Hae-in and take their relationship to the next level. As Hae-in delves into his journal, a sudden epiphany strikes him like a bolt of lightning. The haze of logic clears, and he's faced with the brutal honesty of his own emotions. With a newfound sense of purpose, he begins to pour out his thoughts onto paper, crafting a letter that bears his very soul to Hae-in. But just as he's poised to send this vulnerable declaration, doubt creeps in like a thief in the night, threatening to snatch away his chance at true connection. Fearing rejection and hurt, Hae-in's resolve begins to crumble, leaving him torn between his desire for honesty and the safety of his own emotional walls. As the day winds down, our mysterious figure leaves work behind, leaving a sense of uncertainty in its wake. A chance encounter with Hae-in sparks a brief conversation about wrapping up their shift, but beneath the surface lies an undercurrent of tension, hinting at the complexity of their relationship. As they part ways, it seems he's grappling with a crucial decision: to reveal his true identity to Hae-in and risk vulnerability, or to maintain the ambiguity that has defined their connection thus far. In the end, he chooses to keep his cards close to his chest, posing an enigmatic question instead: "Do you know who you is?" The scene concludes with a lingering sense of unease, leaving us wondering when the truth will finally be revealed. As tensions run high, a sense of unease settles over Hae-in's life, hinting at the presence of a formidable foe. A series of cryptic glimpses reveals a menacing figure, gradually piecing together their true identity as unknown. The camera zooms in on this enigmatic adversary, highlighting his sinister intentions and foreboding aura, leaving no doubt that he is Hae-in's arch-nemesis. As Yeo-un's thoughts wander back to his complicated feelings for Hae-in, he can't shake off the sense of unease that settles within him. His concerns are soon picked up by Myung-ae, who senses something is amiss and asks him what's troubling him. With a mix of vulnerability and conviction, Yeo-un opens up about his long-standing connection with Hae-in, from teaching her guitar in high school to the deep-seated need to protect her from harm. He confesses that he's worried someone might break her heart, vowing to be there for her every step of the way. As their conversation comes to a close, Yeo-un's determination is palpable, solidifying his unwavering commitment to Hae-in's well-being and serving as a poignant reminder of the depth of his emotions. As Yeo-un's friend/acquaintance storms into the room, their strained relationship becomes palpable as they unleash a scathing rebuke, criticizing Yeo-un's lack of responsibility. The sharp words cut deep, with the acquaintance accusing Yeo-un of reeking of alcohol, a clear sign of his excessive drinking habits. Yeo-un shoots back defensively, refusing to take his friend's criticism lying down. The acquaintance continues to berate him, laying out a stern plan for how Yeo-un should be spending his time instead of wasting it. But as the rebuke intensifies, so does Yeo-un's frustration, leading him to lash out with sarcastic remarks and curt responses. As the night wears on, Yeo-un's evening takes a dark turn when Jae-han approaches him, attempting to restrain his friend. The sudden interruption sparks a fierce reaction from Yeo-un, whose defensive and argumentative behavior is laced with aggressive undertones. Despite Jae-hun's calming efforts, Yeo-un's intensity only intensifies, revealing the depths of his emotional turmoil. But as the storm begins to subside, Yeo-un's mask cracks, revealing a vulnerable side that apologizes for its outburst. As Jae-hun offers words of reassurance, Yeo-un's frustration and helplessness begin to dissipate, leaving behind a lingering sense of isolation and loneliness. As the night wears on, Yeo-un lingers at the party, clearly unsure of himself. It starts when he appears out of nowhere after Hae-in mentions his name, as if he'd been listening in all along. But as he approaches the boxing machine, his lack of confidence becomes apparent. He can't even muster a decent punch. His concern for hurting himself reveals a deeper vulnerability, one that makes him uncertain and doubtful of himself. When Hae-in offers to leave with him, Yeo-un readily agrees, demonstrating a willingness to rely on others' guidance. But it's Hae-in's kind offer to cover his ride home that truly underscores Yeo-un's dependence on others, a poignant reminder of the emotional struggles he faces, as described in the character sheet. As Yeo-un's friends approach him with a request, their words hang in the air like a challenge. They are asking him to walk home a drunk Hae-in, citing their own inability due to their distance from her residence and their intoxication. Yeo-un's initial response is laced with sarcasm, but as his friends emphasize that he's someone he entrusts, he begins to consider the request. Despite his own condition, Yeo-un eventually agrees to take on the task, revealing a deeper sense of empathy and responsibility towards others. As Yeo-un prepares to leave, an unexpected gesture of kindness is extended in the form of a warm bowl of soup offered by a mysterious individual. The question that follows, "Are these people your friends?" serves as a catalyst for Yeo-un's introspection, and he opens up about his group's shared passion for music. The introduction of Jae-hun, the one who taught him how to play guitar, offers a glimpse into Yeo-un's backstory, highlighting the significance of this relationship in his life. As he reflects on these connections, it becomes clear that music is more than just a hobby. It's a way for Yeo-un to bond with others and find common ground. As Yeo-un navigates the music industry, he finds himself introduced to new acquaintances, including Ji-won, a talented bassist who shares stories about Seonu Myung-ae's renowned band. Yeo-un reveals his insider knowledge of the band members, specifically mentioning Jae-young, the drummer with a passion for music that dates back to his high school days. A subtle shift in focus brings Jae-young's backstory into view, showcasing his dedication to perfecting his craft at a studio and more recently forming friendships with Yeo-un. This introductory scene sets the stage for Yeo-un's connections within the industry, highlighting his relationships with Ji-won and Jae-young while hinting at his potential involvement in music projects. As Yeo-un and his friends sit down to discuss the possibility of forming a punk band, the air is electric with excitement. The idea sparks a chain reaction of laughter and gestures from Yeo-un, whose enthusiasm is palpable as he throws himself wholeheartedly into the concept. With Green Day's influence serving as inspiration, the group's brainstorming session becomes a joyful celebration of creativity, with instruments taking center stage in a thrilling montage showcasing drums, bass, and guitar. As the friends continue to imagine their punk rock project, Yeo-un's infectious energy brings them all together, painting a vibrant picture of his charismatic personality and artistic passion. As Yeo-un stumbles into view, his disheveled appearance and sluggish demeanor betray a long night of revelry. Someone he cares about approaches him, playfully teasing about his hangover and the excessive drinking that led to it. With a nonchalant tone, Yeo-un recalls the after-party they threw earlier in the day, his words laced with a hint of nostalgia. The scene shifts, revealing an intimate moment between them as Yeo-un tenderly holds their hand, perhaps expressing affection. As Yeo-un stumbles onto the train platform, it becomes clear that he's been through a rough night, his exhaustion evident in every step. His attempts to board the train are met with struggles to maintain balance, revealing the toll his physical and emotional state have taken on him. Just as all hope seems lost, So-wai appears, steadying Yeo-un against the train door and offering words of playful teasing that hint at a deeper concern for her friend's well-being. In this moment of vulnerability, So-wai's presence serves as a gentle reminder of their connection, providing a sense of comfort to Yeo-un as he navigates the uncertainty of his own emotions. As morning dawns, Yeo-un stirs in an unfamiliar setting, the lingering haze of a night gone by weighing heavily on his eyes. The foggy memory of a party slowly begins to take shape, but the details remain shrouded in a veil of confusion. His disheveled appearance and labored breathing betray the toll of excessive revelry. Amidst this chaos, a figure beside him stirs, their presence a gentle reminder of the company he kept through the night. The whispered question, "Are you sleepy?" pierces the silence, hinting at an intimacy that only adds to the mystery surrounding Yeo-un's fragile state. As the party wears on, Yeo-un's eyes begin to droop, a telling sign of exhaustion from lack of oxygen. But despite his fatigue, he refuses to give in, instead suggesting they push through and keep the night going. When his friend asks what activity they should do next, Yeo-un seizes the opportunity to showcase his creative side, proposing a game where his friends must guess a song from its opening note. With the twist only songs by the Beatles are allowed, he demonstrates his musical knowledge and appreciation for classic rock, revealing a glimpse into his personality. As the night wore on at the party, Yeo-un's exhaustion from the previous evening's revelry was all too apparent, his usually bright eyes now dull and heavy-lidded. His companion, however, seemed to find this only more endearing, teasing him with playful jabs about being cute that left Yeo-un rolling his eyes in mock exasperation. But beneath the sarcastic exterior, a hint of vulnerability crept through as he half-heartedly lamented not having said something more romantic to his companion earlier. The air was thick with tension as they shared a tender moment, their closeness and affection palpable despite the surrounding chaos of the party. As the train rumbles along its tracks, Yeo-un sits lost in thought, his mind racing with worst-case scenarios. He can't shake off the feeling that something is off, and as he gazes out the window, the usually bustling night becomes eerily quiet. The dim lights of the train cast an ominous glow on his introspective face, as he ponders whether this is just his imagination playing tricks on him or if there's more to it. As the moments tick by, Yeo-un's unease grows, and so does our curiosity why exactly has set him off tonight. As Yeo-un and his friends finally arrive at their destination, a mix of excitement and uncertainty fills the air. We've arrived, the signs declare, but the reality is far from clear-cut. As they pull up to the house, Yeo-un stands frozen in front of the entrance, his gaze darting around in confusion. But it's not until one of his friends asks the innocuous-sounding question, "Which way is your house?" that Yeo-un's uncertainty turns into thoughtful contemplation. He pauses, lost in thought, as the weight of the question settles upon him. The scene ends with Yeo-un looking down, his mind seemingly 1,000 miles away, leaving us wondering what new development or plot point is about to unfold. As Yeo-un leads his partner to a building with a prime location near the train station, he's filled with excitement and optimism about their future together. His partner, however, is more cautious, voicing concerns about getting drunk and suggesting they don't overdo it. But Yeo-un isn't one to take things too seriously, playfully teasing his partner about taking a taxi for themselves. The conversation takes a darker turn as Yeo-un hints that his partner may be planning to leave him, leaving a sense of unease in the air. In the end, Yeo-un calls a taxi for himself, a poignant moment that suggests their relationship may be on shaky ground. As the morning light creeps into his room, Yeo-un lies exhausted, a stark contrast to the vibrant atmosphere of last night's party. His reverie is abruptly interrupted by an unknown message, jolting him back into reality. The weight of past mistakes settles upon him as he becomes introspective, reflecting on the consequences of his actions. I went TOOFAR last time. With a newfound resolve to be cautious in the face of uncertainty, Yeo-un's thoughts turn introspective once more. But this time, instead of reflection, he reaches for a bottle of tequila, seeking solace from his turmoil. The familiar burn of the liquor washes over him as he pours 3 shots down his throat. The pain is fleeting, yet it momentarily dulls the ache in his heart. His emotions veer wildly, and Yeo-un finds himself yearning for connection, longing to be understood by someone who seems to be slipping away from him. Are you really going to leave me like this? As the night wore on at the party, Yeo-un found himself growing closer to his romantic interest and close friend, who extended an invitation for him to hang out a bit longer. The subtle hint was made clear when they asked if he was being invited to their home, leaving little room for misinterpretation. Feeling emboldened, Yeo-un took the opportunity to ask permission to visit their residence, seeking explicit consent before taking any further steps. As Yeo-un's friend/acquaintance approaches him, addressing the growing distance between them, a mix of emotions swirls within his heart. Yeo-un's response is laced with a hint of longing, as he yearns to be swept off his feet like in the past, when life was simpler and love felt more genuine. His words hang heavy in the air, leaving room for interpretation, but his friend/acquaintance senses the depth of his emotions and urges him to let go, to be more open with his feelings. The conversation takes a personal turn as Yeo-un's internal monologue reveals his fears of being hurt again, his struggle to trust, and the weight of past wounds that still linger. Yet, in this moment of vulnerability, his friend/acquaintance is there to offer reassurance, reminding him that their bond is strong enough to withstand any storm, and that together they can weather the tempests of life. As the night wears on, Yeo-un's exhaustion and intoxication become evident, his disheveled appearance and labored movements a testament to the excesses he's indulged in. A chart tracking his liquor intake serves as a stark reminder of his self-destructive tendencies, a visual representation of the coping mechanisms that are ultimately suffocating him. As his emotional state teeters on the brink of collapse, fragmented thoughts and introspection swirl through his mind, revealing a profound sense of loneliness and guilt that threatens to consume him. In this moment, Yeo-un's vulnerability is palpable as he struggles to make sense of his tumultuous past and uncertain future. As night falls, Lee Yeo-un boards the last train home, unaware of the disruption about to unfold. As he scans his surroundings, a sense of unease creeps over him when he notices a suspicious figure lurking in the shadows. The stalker, trying not to be seen, peeks out from behind a pillar, revealing their sneaky and secretive behavior. Yeo-un's calm demeanor quickly turns anxious as he becomes aware of the unwanted attention, his eyes darting back and forth in search of an escape. Meanwhile, the stalker maintains their distance, keeping pace with him on the train, leaving Yeo-un to wonder if they are being followed or simply imagined it all. The scene concludes with a worried and anxious Yeo-un, his evening disrupted by this unsettling encounter. As Lee Yeo-un walked alone under the dimly lit streetlights, his isolation was palpable. But little did he know, his solitude was about to be disrupted by an unwanted presence. The stalker Sasing emerged from the shadows, their intentions unclear. Lee Yeo-un's concern turned to confrontation as he demanded to know what they were doing and whether they were safe. Sasing's cryptic response revealed a fascination with Lee Yeo-un's mysterious aura, sending unease coursing through his veins. As the stalker continued to linger, Lee Yeo-un's vulnerability to emotional manipulation became apparent, leaving him feeling exposed and uneasy in the face of this unsettling encounter. As Shin Hae-in approaches Lee Yeo-un with an attempt at casual small talk, her words are met with ambiguous responses and a clear effort to brush off the attention. Despite her persistence, Lee Yeo-un's reluctance is palpable as he mentions there's not much to see, only to agree half-heartedly when Shin Hae-in offers him a drink. The conversation grinds to an awkward halt, leaving the two characters in an uncomfortable silence that speaks volumes about their strained dynamic. As Lee Yeo-un stepped into her empty apartment, an eerie silence enveloped her. The dimly lit space seemed to swallow her whole, setting a tone of unease and isolation. At first, she moved with a sense of familiarity, unaware of the ominous presence lurking in the shadows. But as she ventured deeper, her eyes began to scan the room with growing unease, sensing something was off-kilter. And then it hit her a jolt of shock and fear as she realized she was being watched. The stalker's sudden appearance sent Yeo-un reeling, demanding answers about their motives. As Lee Yeo-un ventures into Shin Hae-in's room, she can't help but notice the space is he encoded, a reflection of her host's personality. The air is thick with the scent of music, gear, and instruments, piquing Yeo-un's curiosity about the sweet aroma wafting through the room. She begins to investigate, her eyes scanning the shelves for any clues. Her attention is drawn to a single beer left behind, which she offers to pour into a glass, only to be declined by Hae-in. Undeterred, Yeo-un pours herself a glass instead and extends the offer once more, an invitation that speaks volumes about their budding friendship. As Yeo-un and Shin Hae-in settle into a casual conversation at Yeo-un's loft unit, they effortlessly transition from discussing the space's limited storage options to sharing a laugh over the cozy clutter that fills every nook and cranny. Apologizing for the cramped quarters, Yeo-un reveals the history behind the unique layout, while Hae-in can't help but comment on the surprising abundance of storage space in the room. Their banter takes a turn when Hae-in asks if Yeo-un plays any instruments at the loft, prompting an invitation to play something, despite her concern about potential noise complaints from neighbors. But with a reassuring smile, Yeo-un reveals that the previous tenant installed a soundproofing system, putting everyone's minds at ease as they continue their relaxed evening together. As Yeo-un and Shin Hae-in shared a laugh-filled moment in their secret hideout, the atmosphere was electric with carefree joy. They sat together amidst an array of gadgets and trinkets, their playful banter filling the air as they explored the possibilities of a certain device. Shin Hae-in's teasing about Yeo-un's solitary life prompted a mix of confidence and vulnerability from him, revealing glimpses into his complex personality. As the scene shifted to reveal Yeo-un's friends lurking in the background, their presence served as a reminder of the world beyond this tranquil moment. And yet, Yeo-un's radiant smile and contented expression remained, capturing the essence of this fleeting instant of happiness. As Yeo-un sits in contemplative silence, his thoughts drift towards his family's easygoing nature. It's no surprise that he works alongside his uncle, a testament to their tight-knit bond. But his attention is soon drawn to Shin Hae-in's uncle and the possibility that this lonely individual might be yearning for connection. Yeo-un's eyes linger on the notion of isolation, his expression softening with empathy. As his eyelids begin to droop, a relaxed atmosphere settles in, prompting him to extend an invitation, a casual request for Shin Hae-in and her uncle to join him in a laid-back conversation, free from distractions. The air is thick with warmth and camaraderie as they settle in together, their gentle words weaving a soothing melody. In a dimly lit bar, Yeo-un sits alone, lost in thought, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Suddenly, his stalker, the stalker, appears, their eyes locking onto Yeo-un with an unnerving intensity. As the stalker approaches, Yeo-un's unease grows, but he tries to brush off the encounter, only for the stalker to continue looming over him, uttering the ominous phrase, "It's your place." The air thickens as the stalker makes a threatening statement, hinting at an impending confrontation. Yeo-un's expression turns serious, his senses on high alert as he prepares himself for the possibility of violence. As Yeo-un lay awake, his mind racing with thoughts of the stalker, he couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. He tossed and turned, finally giving up on sleep as he walked over to the window, gazing out into the night with a mixture of anxiety and longing. Flashbacks of his terrifying encounters with the stalker began to flood his mind, leaving him haunted by the memories. As he returned to bed, the lines between reality and nightmare blurred, and Yeo-un was confronted with a series of disturbing and surreal images that seemed to be haunting him. His friends may have been trying to offer support, but it was clear that the psychological toll of being stalked was taking its devastating effect on Yeo-un's mental state, leaving him worried and uneasy as he struggled to confront his demons. As Yeo-un expertly swaps the sheets on the bed, a subtle hint of intimacy sets the tone for a moment of playful banter with their mysterious companion. The unnamed stalker/assassin cleverly reveals that the Union Jack blanket is actually made in Korea, sparking a light-hearted exchange between the two. As they engage in witty remarks and teases, Yeo-un's embarrassment grows, especially when the other comments on their lingering scent of alcohol, an awkward revelation that leaves them wishing to share that moment with their companion. As Shin Hae-in struggles to come to terms with the enigmatic kiss she shared with Yeo-un, her mind is consumed by a tangled web of emotions. She begins by examining her own conflicted feelings, her brow furrowed in concern as she paces back and forth. The weight of their ambiguous encounter hangs heavy on her conscience, prompting her to rehash the moment when he claimed it was merely a peck rather than a true kiss. As she delves deeper into her thoughts, Hae-in's doubts begin to surface, questioning the very nature of their relationship and leaving her feeling lost in a sea of uncertainty. As long afternoon appears seemingly out of nowhere, a sense of unease settles over Yeo-un's demeanor, his brow furrowed in concern. Her repeated inquiry, "Why did you do it?" pierces the air like a dagger, as if she's desperate to unravel the mystery behind his actions. But Yeo-un remains evasive, his response a monotone "I wanted to tease you" that echoes through the silence like a challenge. As the truth begins to unravel, Shin Hae-in finds herself face to face with her tormentor, the enigmatic stalker. The air is thick with tension as they engage in a twisted game of cat and mouse, each probing the other's psyche. The stalker reveals their intentions, confessing a desire to test Shin Hae-in's resolve, but she remains unflappable, firing back with questions that pierce at the stalker's motivations. As the stakes escalate, the stalker demands to know why Shin Hae-in stays, and she responds with a candid admission she has no idea what drives her adversary or their twisted desires. The psychological confrontation reaches its climax as these two adversaries lock horns, each pushing the other to reveal more about themselves in this cat-and-mouse dance of uncertainty. As Yeo-un stands face to face with the menacing figure known only as the stalker, a sense of unease settles over her. The air is thick with tension as the stalker presents an ultimatum: surrender or flee. Yeo-un's uncertainty is palpable, her expression a mask of indecision. But as the stalker's words become increasingly menacing, something within her snaps. Her determination grows, and she declares with unwavering conviction that she will never run away. The stalker's tone, once taunting, now turns icy cold, seeming to relish the challenge Yeo-un has issued. As the dimly lit room envelops him, Yeo-un stands alone, his expression a reflection of his inner turmoil. He struggles with the idea of starting anew, haunted by the memories of past relationships that ended in heartache and disappointment. Flashbacks of these fleeting connections flood his mind, each one a painful reminder of the fragility of human connections. Amidst this turmoil, Shin Hae-in's presence looms large, her lingering concern etched on his face as he stares down at his phone, perhaps contemplating a message or notification from her or another. With no clear direction, Yeo-un remains frozen, uncertainty weighing heavily on his shoulders, leaving the future uncertain and shrouded in doubt. As Yeo-un and Shin Hae-in stroll through the scenery, their casual conversation takes a dramatic turn, revealing a darker side to their relationship. The air thickens with tension as Yeo-un's frustration and anger simmer just below the surface, his face twisted in a scowl that hints at long-held resentments. He accuses Shin Hae-in of still harboring grudges, his words laced with a venomous intensity that leaves her reeling. The surprise and defensiveness that follow only fuel Yeo-un's ire as he unloads years of pent-up emotions upon her. In a shocking display of raw emotion, Yeo-un reveals the depth of his hurt and anger, leaving Shin Hae-in stunned and struggling to defend herself against the onslaught of accusations. As the drama unfolds, Hae-in's inner turmoil comes to a head as she grapples with her insecurities and fears, speaking aloud in a desperate attempt to process her emotions. "Didn't you know?" she asks, her words dripping with frustration as if seeking answers from an unknown entity. With unflinching honesty, she reveals the chaos that lies within, her physical appearance mirroring the emotional disarray that ravages her mind. The fear of losing what matters most to her only adds to her vulnerability, and Hae-in's confession of selfishness underscores the internal conflict that plagues her. As Yeo-un's thoughts unfold, we see the depth of his emotional struggles revealed in his conversation with Hae-in. A flashback into his past reckless behavior exposes his impulsiveness and self-centeredness, highlighting the need for him to work on self-reflection and emotional regulation. In the present, he confesses his fears of losing their connection to Hae-in, who responds by sharing her own vulnerabilities and insecurities, deepening their mutual emotional intimacy. Yeo-un's anxiety is palpable as he struggles to express himself openly, revealing his underlying fear of rejection or loss. As Yeo-un sits alone in a dimly lit room, their thoughts and emotions swirl around them like a maelstrom, threatening to consume them whole. The walls begin to close in as fragmented images of what's been and what could be pierce the darkness, taunting them with memories of happier times. A flashback of a joyful moment with Hanyul flashes before their eyes, a poignant reminder of the connection they fear losing. But even this fleeting glimpse of happiness is torn asunder by the crushing weight of uncertainty, leaving Yeo-un to grapple with the very real possibility of losing it all. As Yeo-un spends time with Hanyul, their emotions oscillate wildly, caught between a deep-seated desire for closeness and an equal fear of losing independence in the relationship. Initially, they are overjoyed by Hanyul's kindness and affection, expressing gratitude through tears of happiness 15:16. However, this euphoria is short-lived, as Yeo-un's emotions soon become overwhelmed, manifesting in a sudden outburst, crying out for Hae-in in frustration and anxiety 19:20. Throughout the scene, their inner turmoil is palpable, conveyed through their facial expressions and body language, showcasing their struggle to navigate these conflicting emotions. As Yeo-un and Hanyul stroll together, an air of contemplation settles over him like a shroud. He turns to her with an unspoken plea in his eyes, asking if they can shed their playful facade and confront the true depths of their emotions. But Hanyul's response is guarded, her words laced with uncertainty as she questions what Yeo-un truly desires from her. With an openness that borders on vulnerability, Yeo-un confides in her about his trepidation of losing their connection and struggling to articulate his feelings honestly. Hanyul reassures him of her commitment to their relationship, offering a lifeline amidst the turbulent tides of his emotions. As the conversation concludes, Yeo-un's countenance is bathed in a faint glow of hope, yet hints at the lingering uncertainty that still plagues his thoughts. In a moment of vulnerability, Yeo-un's thoughts are consumed by the fear of losing Hanyul's affection, as he reflects on their first encounter, a nervous and uncertain beginning to their relationship. Waking up with anxiety, he can't shake off the feeling that he may have done something wrong, his doubts fueled by an overwhelming sense of uncertainty. Despite trying to brush aside his concerns, Yeo-un is plagued by the need for control, seeking ways to hold on to their connection as a means of reassuring himself that everything will be okay. Ultimately, it's a photo of the two together that brings him solace, as he smiles softly in an attempt to calm his turbulent emotions. As Yeo-un and Hanyul's date unfolds, the seemingly carefree atmosphere is disrupted by a disagreement that reveals the underlying tensions and insecurities in their relationship. Yeo-un's anxious inquiry about the length of their time together sparks a heated conversation, with Hanyul questioning the relevance of time, constraints, and suggesting they focus on enjoying each other's company instead. However, Yeo-un's frustration grows as they list possible durations for their date, highlighting their deep-seated fears about losing Hanyul or being rejected. The conversation escalates further as both characters express their emotions and insecurities, with Hanyul becoming defensive and accusing Yeo-un of only thinking about themselves in the moment. As the scene comes to a close, it becomes clear that Yeo-un's insecurities are driving their actions, while the power dynamic in the relationship is shifting, with Hanyul asserting herself more prominently. This pivotal conversation sets the stage for potential conflicts and challenges that will test the characters' ability to overcome their differences and strengthen their bond. As Yeo-un's thoughts unfold, a sense of turmoil becomes palpable. He ponders how much more he can push Hanyul before she runs away, revealing his underlying fear of losing their connection. Acknowledging his own imperfections, Yeo-un admits to being not exactly a saint, hinting at the complexities of his personality. His obsessive nature surfaces as he becomes determined to claim what he desires, even if it means sacrificing everything else. The weight of this desperation is evident in his vow not to let go of what he wants, no matter the cost. As Yeo-un is met with a probing question, their doubts and fears begin to surface like ripples on the surface of a pond. Can you really handle someone like yourself? The inquiry strikes a chord, prompting Yeo-un to fire back with a defiant retort, "What makes you think I'd run away?" But beneath the bravado lies a sea of uncertainty, as Yeo-un's mind is flooded with memories of past relationships that left them scarred and wary. As the argument between Yeo-un and Han unfolds, it becomes clear that they are struggling to connect on a deeper level, with Yeo-un's inquiry about being one of those people to her sparking tension. Han-yul's response, dragging Yeo-un into the room, takes a subtle yet dominant tone, leaving Yeo-un feeling belittled and frustrated. As the conversation escalates, Yeo-un's emotions boil over, threatening to erupt in a moment of passion and desperation. The underlying conflicts and insecurities in their relationship are laid bare, revealing the delicate balance of power and emotion that defines their dynamic. As Yeo-un struggles to contain their anxiety about the future of their relationship with Han, they finally open up to share their true feelings and fears. The conversation begins with Yeo-un's heartfelt confession, revealing their deepest concerns about losing that special connection with Han. Han responds with empathy and reassurance, acknowledging Yeo-un's doubts and fears. As the conversation unfolds, Yeo-un delves into their past experiences, drawing parallels to their current emotional state. They then express their hopes and dreams for the future of the relationship, as well as their worries about potential differences between them and Han. With each passing moment, Han-yul's understanding and support build trust, reassuring Yeo-un that honesty and openness are valued in this relationship, and they are willing to work through any challenges that may arise. As Yeo-un's thoughts drift to Han-yul's kindness, their heart begins to beat faster with anticipation. They take a subtle yet significant step closer, drawing the symbol of love on the ground as if tracing the path that leads to Han-yul's heart. Hand in hand, they stroll alongside Han-yul, joined by the constant companion Ani. With lips trembling and a hint of nervousness, Yeo-un takes a deep breath, their gaze locked onto Han-yul with an unspoken promise. The air is charged with tension as they lean in, the sound of smooch giving way to a gentle "my." As the world around them melts away, Yeo-un's face lights up with relief and joy, their thoughts consumed by the thrilling sensation of confessing their love to Han, leaving them breathless and bewildered. As Yeo-un ponders the possibility of confessing their true emotions to Han, a mix of nostalgia and trepidation washes over them. Flashbacks of past relationships reveal the deep-seated fear of rejection and loss that has long haunted them. Yet, despite this anxiety, Yeo-un's determination to be honest with Han prevails. A sudden interruption threatens to derail their plan, but they refuse to back down, choosing instead to take a bold step towards confession. With each passing moment, Yeo-un's emotional state shifts from uncertainty to conviction, signaling a pivotal turning point in their journey of self-discovery and vulnerability. As Yeo-un's worries and emotions come to a head, he finds himself struggling to connect with Han on a deeper level. His concern for her well-being seems genuine, but his words are laced with uncertainty and a hint of desperation as he asks if she's okay. Han-yul's casual dismissal only adds to the tension, leaving Yeo-un feeling uncertain about how to proceed. In an attempt to make amends, he apologizes for ruining the vibe, revealing his self-awareness but also his vulnerability. As Han reveals her own struggles with stomach issues and too much drinking, it becomes clear that she's not in a receptive state for emotional conversations. Yeo-un's subsequent attempts at reassurance fall flat, leaving the conversation to end on an awkward note. As Yeo-un walks Han home, the conversation takes an unexpected turn when Yeo-un reveals their true feelings. Initially, it was just about making sure Han got home safely, but something more profound was at play. Han-yul's innocent question about Yeo-un's heavy drinking sparks a moment of sincerity as Yeo-un confesses to being genuinely happy. The reason behind this happiness is not a fleeting pleasure, but rather the genuine appreciation and affection they received from Han. As Yeo-un's heart swells with a thrill reminiscent of his first guitar purchase, he finds himself grappling with a sense of trepidation, questioning why his emotions still tremble with fear despite the excitement that once coursed through him. The realization dawns on him that the kindness and affection from Han could vanish just as quickly as it arrived, leaving him to confront his deep-seated fears about relationships and potential loss. As he yearns to surrender to the joy he's always coveted, Yeo-un is crippled by the fear of rejection or loss, holding back from fully embracing his emotions. With his emotional state in limbo, Yeo-un remains uncertain how to overcome his inner doubts and anxieties, leaving him stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. As Yeo-un tends to the mess left behind by someone else, a sense of responsibility weighs heavily on their shoulders. The culprit, Han-yul, nonchalantly waves off Yeo-un's concerns, telling them to simply go to sleep, leaving Yeo-un feeling frustrated and anxious. In a burst of emotion, Yeo-un lashes out, asserting their intent not to be taken care of like this. But Han-yul's response only serves to downplay the situation, asking if Yeo-un is dizzy, further frustrating the situation. As the scene comes to a close, an air of tension lingers between the two characters, with Yeo-un's emotional vulnerability and struggles to express themselves left unresolved. As Yeo-un's thoughts swirl in a maelstrom of emotions, they confront the very core of their being, the delicate balance between their desire for Han-yul and their own need for honesty. Reflecting on past experiences, they wonder if their pursuit of Han-yul was merely an avoidance of the messy complexities that come with relationships, leaving the burden of that choice squarely on Han-yul's shoulders. The uncertainty lingers as Yeo-un questions whether they've truly been genuine in their affections or simply grasping at a fleeting connection. As Yeo-un's inner turmoil raged on, he found himself overwhelmed by a torrent of emotions, his thoughts careening wildly out of control. In a moment of reckless abandon, he made a bold confession to Han-yul, pouring out his heart in a bid for emotional connection. But as the words hung in the air, Yeo-un's excitement gave way to unease as he sensed Han-yul's discomfort and realized too late that his impulsive declaration had struck a wrong note. With a newfound sense of self-awareness, Yeo-un acknowledged his selfish tendencies and vowed to do better, prioritizing Han-yul's feelings and emotions in their relationship. As Yeo-un's thoughts churned with feelings of unease, their facial expression contorted into a mix of discomfort and uncertainty. In an attempt to shake off these emotions, they turned to distractions, TV and phone screens, only to find them ineffective against the creeping anxiety. Undeterred, Yeo-un sought solace in the comforting presence of Han-yul, whose gentle slumber beside them proved to be the perfect balm for their frayed nerves. As they nestled closer, Yeo-un's tension dissipated, replaced by a sense of calm and security. As Yeo-un awakens, she's struck by the realization that Han-yul is sleeping mere inches from her, their bodies entwined in a tender embrace. The gentle rise and fall of his chest as he breathes fills her with an overwhelming sense of connection, and for a moment she's torn between confessing her true feelings to him and keeping them hidden away. Despite the temptation to bare her soul, Yeo-un makes the calculated decision to keep her emotions locked deep within, murmuring quietly to herself that it's best not to reveal the depth of her love just yet. As she settles back into bed, the weight of her inner conflict is palpable, a delicate balance between honesty and vulnerability hanging precariously in the balance. As Yeo-un's mind wanders, they are met with a poignant vision of their future together with Han-yul, where love blossoms in perfect harmony. But this idyllic scenario is quickly juxtaposed with the harsh reality of growing apart, leaving Yeo-un to grapple with the uncertainty of it all. They yearn for a connection that can withstand the test of time and potential differences, pleading for an unbreakable bond. The image of Han-yul lingers, a constant reminder of the longing in their heart. As the darkness of night still lingered on her mind, Hae-in's thoughts were consumed by a whirlwind of emotions. The mysterious message on her phone, claiming to like gentle proposals, only added fuel to the fire, leaving her in a state of distress and utter confusion. With her usually carefree demeanor momentarily disrupted, she found herself overwhelmed as she struggled to make sense of her feelings. In a desperate attempt to process her thoughts, Hae-in turned to writing down her emotions, but this only seemed to exacerbate her turmoil. As the scene comes to a close, Hae-in's emotional state remains unresolved, leaving her vulnerable and uncertain about the future. As Hae-in slowly regains consciousness, she's met with the harsh reality of her surroundings, unfamiliar walls and a face etched with bruises and scratches. Her memories are shrouded in a haze, leaving her disoriented and confused. But when her friend appears, concern etched on their face, Hae-in's defensive instincts kick in. She downplays the significance of her injuries, refusing to acknowledge the consequences of her reckless behavior. The friend tries to reason with her, pointing out the harm caused by her actions, but Hae-in becomes emotional, revealing a deep-seated guilt and shame. As she breaks down, her friend offers words of comfort and support, urging her to confront her feelings and open up about her turmoil. As the morning sun creeps into the unfamiliar room, Hae-in stirs from her slumber, confusion etched across her face as she asks herself where am I? The haze of the previous night slowly lifts, and she reaches for her phone to find a series of images that jog her memory. Relieved to recall that she slept at someone else's place, Hae-in reassures herself that she won't oversleep for her morning lecture. Despite still feeling disoriented, she springs into action, determined to make it on time. With a sense of urgency, she prepares to head out, ready to face whatever the day may bring. As the morning light creeps in, Hae-in awakens to find herself in an unfamiliar setting, surrounded by empty beer bottles and trash, a stark reminder of the night's excesses. Her friend's concerned expression is the first thing she sees as they approach her, asking how she's feeling with a mixture of concern and wariness. At first, Hae-in tries to brush it off as a typical hangover, but the guilt and shame etched on her face give away her true state. The friend's gaze lingers on the bruises adorning Hae-in's face and neck, prompting an urgent inquiry about what happened last night. With great reluctance, Hae-in reveals that she was involved in a physical altercation at the party, leaving her shaken and struggling to come to terms with the aftermath. As her friend tries to offer words of comfort and support, Hae-in's composure begins to crack, revealing the deep-seated emotions and inner turmoil that lie beneath her tough exterior. As the conversation flows between Hae-in and her friend, it becomes clear that this carefree individual is still very much at ease with herself. The topic of missing pants leads to a light-hearted banter, with Hae-in playfully deflecting her friend's teasing about getting too hot last night. Her laughter and quick wit reveal a personality that is both mischievous and endearing, as she effortlessly teases her friend without revealing any deeper concerns. Meanwhile, the friendly dynamic between the two friends is palpable, suggesting a strong bond built on trust and mutual understanding. Despite this seemingly innocuous conversation, subtle hints of Hae-in's lingering struggles with impulsivity and emotional vulnerability remain, leaving the audience wondering what secrets may lie beneath her carefree exterior. As Hae-in sits on her bed, her concerns about her stomach are palpable, etched across her pale face. But just as she seems lost for answers, an enigmatic figure slips into the room, bringing with it a soothing calm. With words of gentle wisdom, this mysterious guide advises Hae-in to rest and let her body heal, pointing out the benefits of lying down to alleviate her stomach troubles. Though initially hesitant, Hae-in yields to the advice, revealing a willingness to listen and prioritize her own well-being in times of distress. In a dimly lit room, Hae-in sits alone, her exhaustion and turmoil palpable. She's lost in thought, staring at a photo on her phone with an air of deep contemplation, as the weight of recent events bears down upon her. The room itself is a reflection of her chaotic state, littered with broken objects and scattered clothes, a tangible manifestation of the destruction she's wrought. Suddenly, a knock at the door breaks the silence, and Hae-in's thoughts are interrupted by the arrival of her supportive friend. Initially hesitant to open up, Hae-in eventually finds the courage to share her feelings and struggles, revealing a vulnerable side that marks a turning point in her emotional journey. As she pours out her heart to her friend, the scene concludes with a sense of resolution and newfound connection between the two characters, as Hae-in begins to confront her emotions and seek support from those around her. As Hae-in opens up to her friend, she reveals a deeper emotional struggle beneath her seemingly casual apology. Initially, she proudly lists all the ways she's helped out around the house, from cleaning the bathroom to hanging up his pants to dry. But as the conversation progresses, it becomes clear that Hae-in has been holding on to a lingering sense of guilt and regret over not taking care of his laundry. Her friend's suggestion that she pay for her own laundry sparks a brief but telling exchange, with Hae-in downplaying the issue while her tone and language betray underlying concerns about their relationship. As the conversation comes to a close, it becomes clear that Hae-in is grappling with more than just a simple laundry mishap. As Hae-in is informed that it's time to leave, she hesitates, refusing to budge until she makes a sudden declaration, "I need to turn around and cover my eyes." It becomes clear that she's attempting to shield herself from something unpleasant or traumatic. Despite her initial reluctance, Hae-in ultimately decides to abandon the situation, driven by a sense of self-preservation and determination. As she exits, her thoughts are consumed by careful consideration, weighing her safety and potential consequences. In the end, Hae-in emerges with a resolute expression, signaling that she's prepared to face whatever challenges lie ahead. As the sun rises on a new day, Hae-in awakens with a haunting reminder of the previous night's turmoil. Visible bruises and scratches adorn her face and neck, a testament to the tumultuous events that unfolded. The morning light casts an eerie glow as she receives a text from her friend, inviting her to grab lunch together, which she accepts with a mix of hope and trepidation. As they gather at her place, her friend prepares a warm and comforting meal of pasta, symbolizing a desire to nurture their bond and mend the emotional rift that has grown between them. But as they sit down to eat and converse, Hae-in's words reveal the true nature of their connection. She longs to continue their conversation from the night before, hinting at unresolved tension and emotions that still linger in the air. As Hae-in's friend arrives unannounced, she's met with a mix of curiosity and wariness. But as he reveals his true intention to share her culinary skills, a spark of excitement ignites between them. Their conversation flows effortlessly, veering from cooking techniques to food delivery, their banter laced with playful teasing and genuine interest. Despite Hae-in's downplayed claims of being a bad cook, her friend remains convinced that she'll whip up something spectacular, leaving the possibility open for future culinary exchanges. As the scene comes full circle, a sense of camaraderie settles in, hinting at a deeper connection between these two friends, one that might just blossom into something more. As Hae-in approaches her close friend with a small gift bag in hand, a warm smile spreads across her face, revealing her genuine gratitude for his thoughtful gesture the night before. Her thanks are met with a casual "I see you" from her friend, who promptly departs, leaving Hae-in looking contemplative and slightly crestfallen. But it's not until she takes out a blackboard marker that we see the true depth of her emotions, as she pens a poignant message, "Thanks for walking me home last see you." The final shot finds her lingering in the spot where they parted ways, her eyes lost in thought as she processes the subtle hints at romantic feelings she so skillfully conveyed. As Hae-in's emotions overflow, she unleashes a torrent of anger and frustration, her words laced with venomous intensity. But beneath the surface, she's consumed by the weight of recent events, her thoughts racing like a stormy sea. Friend still tries to calm the tempest, offering words of comfort as Hae-in's gaze drifts inward, reflecting on the moments that led to this breaking point. With tears brimming at the edges of her eyes, she confesses her disappointment and frustration with herself, overwhelmed by the turbulent emotions swirling within. As the morning light creeps in, Hae-in's thoughts are consumed by regret, a tangled web of emotions swirling within her mind. She relives the events of the previous night, replaying the moments that led to reckless decisions and impulsive actions. The weight of her foolishness settles upon her, as she acknowledges the path she should have taken walking away instead of getting entangled in whatever transpired. But it's too late now. The sound of footsteps approaching heralds the arrival of a concerned friend, someone who may be privy to the secrets Hae-in desperately wants to keep hidden. With trepidation, she hopes that her friend doesn't recall too much from last night's escapades, fearing judgment and censure. As the truth begins to unravel, Hae-in tries to rationalize her behavior by vowing to drink less in the future, a fleeting attempt to silence the voice of self-doubt echoing within her. As Hae-in slowly awakens from slumber, fragments of her previous night begin to resurface, like wisps of fog dissipating in the morning light. Her mind reels as she tries to grasp the elusive memories, only for them to slip through her fingers like sand. Undeterred, she rises from bed, determined to tackle the day ahead. A refreshing shower washes away the remnants of her disheveled night, but her hair remains a tangled mess, a testament to her impulsive and reckless decisions. As she gazes at her reflection, Hae-in's thoughts are consumed by the turmoil brewing within as she struggles to reconcile her fractured memories with the present. Hae-in stands before a mirror, her gaze piercing the reflective surface as she scrutinizes every detail of her appearance. Her hair is a tangled mess, and a deep frustration settles in her eyes as she wrestles with the daily styling routine that seems to consume her life. But it's not just her hair that catches her attention. A faint bruise or bite mark on her neck sparks a flurry of questions. Did something bite her? Was it just a minor accident? Despite feeling no pain, Hae-in makes a mental note to apply ointment later, a small act of self-care in the face of uncertainty. Just as she's lost in thought, a familiar voice breaks the silence. Hae and Hae-in's friend appears, shattering the moment of introspection that had been hers alone. As the morning light creeps into Hae-in's world, she's left with a tangled mess of emotions and physical evidence of a night gone awry. Bruises and scratches mar her face and neck, testifying to the tumultuous events that unfolded under the cover of darkness. Her friend's concerned inquiry sets off a chain reaction, as Hae-in attempts to downplay the severity of her situation, but the probing questions only serve to further unravel her composure. The conversation careens out of control, with Hae-in's mask of confidence cracking beneath the weight of guilt and vulnerability, leaving her lost in a sea of uncertainty. As Hae-in rushes to class, her usual carefree demeanor is replaced by a sense of urgency, her curly brown hair mussed and her bright eyes gleaming with a hint of anxiety. Upon arriving at the classroom, she's met with an unexpected sight. The room looks pretty bad, but she brushes off any concerns, seemingly more worried about being late than anything else. Her friend approaches, asking if they had plans last night, to which Hae-in responds with defensiveness and evasion, unwilling to discuss the topic further. As the morning sun casts its gentle glow, Hae-in awakens to a reality still reeling from last night's tumultuous events. Her face bears visible bruises and scratches, testaments to the chaos that has engulfed her life. Amidst the turmoil, an enigmatic message pierces the silence. How did you know? Followed by another cryptic message, op //los im. The words seem to hold a hidden meaning, fueling Hae-in's growing unease. A symbol of support or warning, a necklace is presented to her with the command, put this on your neck, further deepening the mystery. As Hae-in's thoughts and emotions swirl in a maelstrom, she becomes increasingly consumed by worry and concern. The scene sets the stage for a larger narrative arc as Hae-in navigates the treacherous waters of identity, relationships, and self-discovery, with an unknown force lurking in the shadows. As the veil of nostalgia lifts, we're transported back in time to Hae-in's carefree days, where laughter and playful moments with friends filled the air. But like a jolt of reality, the present crashes down, and Hae-in finds herself surrounded by mementos from her past, her eyes lingering on cherished memories that now seem bittersweet. As she flips through the pages of an old photo album, tears well up in her eyes, betraying the depth of emotions simmering beneath the surface. As Hae-in savored a sweet treat, her carefree demeanor seemed to belie the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. A sudden message from an unknown sender shattered her tranquility, and her expression darkened with concern. The air was tense when a mysterious figure appeared before her, probing her about the events of the previous night. Hae-in's defensive stance gave way to emotional vulnerability as she struggled to contain her guilt and inner turmoil. The enigmatic figure's words dripped with empathy and hinted at knowledge beyond his words, further unsettling Hae-in's already fragile state. As Hae-in sits alone in a dimly lit room, the weight of guilt and regret etches itself across her face as she gazes at a photograph of herself, the memories of last night's reckless behavior flooding back with painful clarity. She recalls the intoxicating rush of adrenaline that led her to get drunk and cause a scene, but also the crushing sense of regret that followed in its wake. As she reflects on her actions, Hae-in's frustration grows, acknowledging that her impulsiveness often leads to problems and regrets that threaten to consume her. As Hana's messy room reveals a glimpse into her chaotic life, another mysterious package arrives, this time bearing a note that reads, someone who likes leaving traces and a pair of scissors. Frustration and annoyance mount as she feels Yeo-un's constant attention is invading her personal space. She rants about wanting an honest conversation instead of cryptic messages and gifts, her emotions boiling over with each passing moment. In a dramatic display of exasperation, Hana holds up a sign that reads, "This is what's wrong," and the sound effects "wrong" echo through the air, leaving no doubt as to her feelings. As Hana gazes at her reflection in the mirror, she's confronted with a painful reminder of her past, a hickey on her neck that refuses to fade away. She tries to cover it up with makeup, but the imperfection still stands out, leaving her feeling self-conscious and frustrated. Undeterred, Hana attempts various methods to remove the unsightly mark, only to be met with persistence. Her growing desperation eventually leads her to seek advice from a trusted friend, Hae-in, who is taken aback by the extent of the hickey's stubbornness. Amidst the awkwardness, the two share a laugh, revealing a deeper understanding and connection between them. As Hana takes to her social media account, she posts a meme that pokes fun at the notion of blaming one's skin for being sensitive, an innocuous enough joke to anyone who sees it. But Yeo-un, whose morning has been quiet so far, doesn't respond or comment, leaving Hana to wonder if he's even noticed her little jest. Later that day, she confronts him about his lack of reaction, playfully scolding him for being oblivious to her mistake. With a mischievous glint in her eye, she asks if he really didn't know, implying that she expected him to catch the error and set her straight. Yeo-un's embarrassment is palpable as Hana teases him further, asking if he even looks in the mirror at all. As Hana examines her neck, her surprise and embarrassment are palpable. She initially tries to downplay the mark, thinking it's just a scratch, but her reaction betrays her true emotions. The unknown person, likely Yeo-un, notices her discomfort and teases her about the hickey, sparking a conversation that reveals Hana's playful yet awkward side. As the conversation progresses, Yeo-un makes subtle insinuations about Hana's romantic experiences, leaving her increasingly uncomfortable and eager to change the subject. Despite her attempts to deflect, Yeo-un persists, hinting at a deeper connection between them. This encounter provides valuable insight into Hana's personality, relationships, and potentially even her romantic past. As Hana scrolls through social media, a question sparks a flood of nostalgic memories. "Ugh, are you bored?" The query transports her back to carefree days in middle school, where laughter and creativity flowed freely. She reminisces about crafting comics with friends, their collaborative efforts birthing new stories and characters. But as she gazes into the distance, a hint of melancholy creeps in, recalling when her companions transferred schools, leaving her behind. Now, Hana is lost in thought, her mind wandering through the memories of bygone days. As Hana reflects on her middle school days, a mix of emotions wash over her as she begins to share an embarrassing story with Yeo-un, saying middle school, okay, in a tone that's equal parts nostalgic and hesitant. Despite Kai's apparent disinterest, Hana continues to open up, revealing that she had multiple boyfriends at once during those formative years, leading to her becoming flustered and unsure of herself. But as she recounts the highlights of her teenage years' countless soccer games, Kai's interruption brings a smile to her face, and for the first time, Hana seems more relaxed, her story finally laid bare in all its awkward glory. As Hana scrolled through her messages, she was met with an unsettling revelation. Someone knew about her past habit of making hickeys on her arms with her girlfriends. The unknown sender's message seemed to echo the words she had spoken carelessly in a moment of youthful abandon. Suddenly, Yeo-un appeared before her, his eyes twinkling with mischief as he referenced her past statement. Hana tried to downplay the situation, explaining it was just a joke and a way to bond with her friends. But Yeo-un's revelation that he had learned how to make hickeys from an online tutorial only added to her embarrassment. As the awkward exchange unfolded, Hana's playful and flirtatious personality began to falter, revealing a more vulnerable side beneath the surface. As Hana catches wind of a question circulating online about her romantic entanglements, she takes matters into her own hands and sets the record straight with Yeo-un. In a humorous exchange, She shares a light-hearted anecdote from her past, revealing that she received hickeys from just one person. When Yeo-un presses for more information, Hana masterfully teases him, hinting that the hickey might indeed be from him without directly confirming it, leaving him in a state of delightful uncertainty. As Hana began to say, "Since we're on something," Yeo-un responded with an offer, implying he wanted to help her with whatever she was trying to accomplish. She then gave him instructions, telling him to press his lips and suck gently on her arm near the armpit. Yeo-un hesitated, suggesting they use her arm instead, which Hana agreed to. This playful and flirtatious moment showcased the chemistry between the two, highlighting their comfortable dynamic and hinting at a possible romantic interest. As Hana took center stage, her radiant smile lit up the room, captivating her fans' hearts. The energy was electric as she performed with passion and precision, seemingly lost in the music. But behind the scenes, a different story unfolded. Backstage, she met Yeo-un, a starstruck fan who struggled to find his words around the idol he admired. Hana's attempts at small talk fell flat, revealing her own uncertainty in navigating this kind of encounter. The awkwardness was palpable as Yeo-un pulled out his phone, capturing their exchange. Hana's discomfort grew, and she retreated from the situation, leaving Yeo-un watching her with a mixture of admiration and concern. Just then, a reporter appeared, probing for information about Hana's love life, further exacerbating her anxiety. As the spotlight faded, Hana stood alone, looking frazzled and overwhelmed, while Yeo-un remained, still clutching his phone, a silent witness to the turmoil behind the scenes. As the sun rises over the quiet town, Hana stirs in her bed, her playful nature evident even in her morning mood. She teases Yeo-un, who's still caught in a peaceful slumber, about biting him instead of sucking, her words dripping with mischief and flirtation. Despite his correction, she continues to joke about biting him for real, her tone dancing with excitement. As the tension builds, Hana drops a cryptic warning on Yeo-un, cautioning him to stay alert, leaving us wondering if their relationship is about to take a dramatic turn or intensify its emotions. As Hana scrolls through her social media posts, a seemingly innocent comment from Yeo-un catches her attention, sending her mind racing into a whirlwind of confusion. The lines become blurred as she starts to imagine romantic possibilities with the unsuspecting Yeo-un, and before long, she's sending a text message to clarify his intentions, an attempt that only leads to an awkward conversation filled with misunderstandings. Yeo-un's reassurances do little to ease Hana's flustered state as she tries to rationalize her own misinterpretation, resulting in a comical exchange of texts that showcases her playful yet awkward nature. As the conversation begins, Hana sets a carefree tone, poking fun at her own perceived cluelessness with a wink. She reveals her age, but not before jokingly claiming to be older than Yeo-un, sparking a playful exchange that showcases her confident wit and banter. As they tease each other, Hana's flirtatious side is on full display, leaving no doubt about her intentions or lack thereof. The scene highlights Hana's comfort with herself, as she effortlessly pokes fun at her own vulnerabilities and revels in the playful repartee. As the sun beats down, Hana decides to take a cheeky selfie in front of her cold shower, quipping about saving on heating bills. She then shares this witty moment with her online friends, remarking on the sweltering heat and her unconventional solution for beating the summer slump. Her friend Yeo-un can't help but praise her sense of humor, leaving Hana beaming with pride. In response, she engages in a playful banter with him, hinting at a flirtation that leaves room for interpretation. Hana's eyes scan the social media feed, her gaze pausing on a peculiar message from an unknown sender. Intrigue sparks within her as she wonders who could be sending such a romantic gesture, what kind of person would go to such lengths for her. The caption by now only adds to the mystery, leaving Hana perplexed about the sender's intentions and what they expect in return. As she ponders this enigmatic message, a hint of amusement and curiosity begins to surface on her face, revealing the subtle delight at being the recipient of such an unexpected surprise. Hana's eyes scanned her social media feeds, and that's when she stumbled upon a familiar name, Yeo-un's. His comment caught her attention not just because he saved one of her posts, but the fact that no one else did. She couldn't help but tease him about it, and as expected, Yeo-un tried to downplay his admiration. But Hana was relentless, goading him into admitting his feelings online. The banter continued, with Hana playfully telling Yeo-un to save more posts for her, and he responding with a witty remark of his own. It was clear that their playful game had only just begun. As Hana takes to social media, she sets off a whirlwind of excitement among her devoted fanbase with a tantalizing new post. With a playful wink, she confesses that it's been ages since her last update, sparking curiosity about what secrets might have gone unnoticed in the intervening time. In a characteristic display of wit and humor, Hana teases that she'll be searching for Easter eggs later, leaving fans to wonder if they've been missing something all along. With a cheeky remark about thinking before acting, Hana showcases her carefree nature, only to leave her followers on the edge of their seats with the suggestion that there's more to come and perhaps even a cliffhanger in store. As Hana scrolled through her social media feed, a subtle notification caught her attention. Someone had liked one of her posts. Her curiosity was piqued as she wondered if this could be the work of Yeo-un, her secret admirer and fan who had been subtly expressing his admiration online. With a mix of excitement and skepticism, Hana dove deeper into the comments section to search for any clues that might confirm or deny her suspicion. Unfortunately, the liker's account was anonymous, leaving her with more questions than answers. As she pondered this new development, Hana couldn't help but think about all the other posts Yeo-un had liked, and whether he might be hiding his true intentions behind a veil of digital anonymity. As Hana reflects on her past relationships through a social media post, her thoughts are interrupted by a flashback to a moment when she left hickeys on someone's skin. She reminisces about the relationship, wondering if it was noticed or appreciated at the time, and whether leaving behind such traces is truly necessary. The scene then jumps back to the present, where Hana seems lost in thought, pondering this question further. As she scrolls through her social media feed, a post from Yeo-un catches Hana's eye, igniting a spark within her to write new songs. Inspired by this sudden creative urge, she takes out her journal and begins brainstorming ideas for lyrics, pouring her thoughts and emotions onto the page. As words flow effortlessly from her pen, Hana becomes more introspective, reflecting on past relationships and experiences that have shaped her into the person she is today. The creative process takes hold, and she finds herself lost in a world of melodies and rhythms, experimenting with different harmonies as her music begins to take shape. With each passing moment, Hana's sense of joy and fulfillment grows, as if the very act of creation has unlocked a deep wellspring of happiness within her. As Hana scrolls through her social media posts, she's suddenly confronted with an unexpected message from Yeo-un, her secret admirer/fan. Her eyes widen in surprise, and a hint of awkwardness creeps onto her face as she processes the sudden attention. Attempting to play it cool, she responds to his message with a witty remark, trying to maintain her confident exterior. But as the conversation comes to a close, Hana can't help but ponder the meaning behind Yeo-un's words and her own feelings towards him. As the credits roll on the black and white film at the movie theater, Hyun-soo lingers, lost in thought, before lighting a cigarette and setting out on the solitary walk home. The night air is filled with the smoke of his regret as he ponders past mistakes, including the failed relationship that still haunts him. Suddenly, a familiar figure appears beside him, striking up a conversation that pierces Hyun-soo's reverie like a shard of glass. Teasing words from his friend cut deep, leaving him momentarily vulnerable to self-doubt. But as they continue their stroll through the quiet streets, Hyun-soo finds solace in opening up about his desire to leave the weight of his past behind and forge a new path. As the curtains open, we find Hyun-soo, eyes aglow with excitement, clapping in unbridled enthusiasm as they watch the re-release of a beloved film. Their unseen companion shares in their infectious energy, engaging in a conversation that reveals not only their deep appreciation for cinema but also their impulsive nature and willingness to revisit familiar tales. With a nod, Hyun-soo acknowledges the timeless appeal of a good story, one that can still captivate even after multiple viewings. As the scene fades, we're left with a glimpse into Hyun-soo's character, shaped by their love for movies and their ability to find joy in revisiting familiar stories. As the conversation unfolded, Hyun-soo's skepticism about an animation being a sequel was palpable, prompting them to question whether it might actually be a first installment in disguise. With a hint of humor, they joked about the potential character being relegated to a side character status in a fictional world. However, as their friend continued to suggest possibilities, Hyun-soo's interest began to wane, and they shrugged off the discussion with a mixture of disinterest and resignation. But the conversation wasn't without its tangents, veering into discussions about movies and movie theaters, with Hyun-soo sharing tales of a memorable camping trip at an SS. As their tone shifted from casual to introspective, it became clear that beneath the surface lay deeper contemplations about life's journey. With a faraway gaze, Hyun-soo lost themselves in thought, their mind wandering down paths both familiar and uncertain as the scene drew to a close. As the memories flooded back, Hyun-soo's mind wandered to a captivating film scene that had left an indelible mark on them. They vividly recalled the magical transition to sound, the actor's impressive tap dancing routine, and the overall enchanting atmosphere of the movie. As they delved deeper into their thoughts, Hyun-soo pondered why this scene still held such allure despite having seen it before. Was it due to initial distractions or subsequent forgetfulness? Their contemplation shifted gears when they started discussing the actor's charm, playfully remarking on their hot factor. But just as suddenly their tone turned sarcastic, and with a wry laugh, Hyun-soo quipped, "That's it, ha-ha." As the conversation unfolded, Hyun-soo's passion for cinema shone through, their eyes lighting up with excitement as they shared their thoughts on the movie. "I thought it was great," they exclaimed, echoing a phrase that had become familiar to their friend or acquaintance. The latter responded with a hint of sarcasm, acknowledging Hyun-soo's tendency to lavish praise on films that resonated with them. Despite this, Hyun-soo remained undeterred, their enthusiasm for the movie still palpable as they wrapped up their discussion. As Hyun-soo is asked about their favorite movie scene, they respond with a sarcastic remark, joking that they only woke up for the climax. Their friend/acquaintance teases them good-naturedly, suggesting they really did sleep through the entire film. But Hyun-soo laughs off the jab, revealing a dry sense of humor and an appreciation for storytelling. They share their thoughts on how the movie's ending tied together the entire narrative, showcasing their attention to detail and cinematic expertise. This humorous exchange not only highlights Hyun-soo's wit, but also provides insight into their personality, interests, and social dynamic with their acquaintance, painting a more nuanced picture of this character. As the rain pours down outside, Hyun-soo's mind is tormented by the weight of his past mistakes. The truth finally revealed, Yeo-un was right all along, only serves to fuel his feelings of guilt and regret. With a heavy heart, Hyun-soo acknowledges that he himself shut out those around him, leaving him alone with his inner turmoil. His frustration builds as he struggles to escape the shackles of his past errors, fearing they will continue to haunt him throughout the evening. As the storm rages on outside, Hyun-soo's inner conflict reaches a boiling point, threatening to consume him whole. As night falls, Hyun-soo sits alone at the train station, lost in thought. His eyes fixed on his phone, he ponders the twists and turns of life, weighing past regrets against uncertain futures. Jisoo, a trusted companion, stands by his side, listening intently as Hyun-soo pours out his heart. The weight of missed opportunities and unrequited loves hangs heavy in the air, threatening to consume him whole. Yet, amidst this introspection, a flicker of self-awareness sparks within him the realization that his biases have been holding him back from embracing life's possibilities. As the last train pulls into the station, Hyun-soo makes a quiet vow to himself to confront these inner demons and forge a path toward growth and renewal. As Hyun-soo approaches the movie theater, his eagerness is palpable. Upon entering, he's unexpectedly greeted by a familiar face at the entrance. The two share brief pleasantries before engaging in some good-natured banter, with Hyun-soo responding with a dash of sarcasm to their enthusiastic greeting. As they take their seats for the movie, their conversation turns to a shared love of black and white films, a topic that seems to bring them joy and camaraderie. With smiles and laughter filling the air, this chance encounter appears to be a welcome respite from solitude as Hyun-soo connects with someone on a casual level. As Hyun-soo strolled through the day, they received a surprise visit from an old acquaintance who couldn't help but tease them about their dismal track record of staying in touch. With a sheepish grin, Hyun-soo brushed off the criticism, attributing everyone's busy schedules to the reason for their neglect. As the conversation unfolded, it took a light-hearted turn when they complimented their acquaintance on their newfound beauty, prompting a playful exchange about mistaken identities. But beneath the banter, a more serious tone emerged as Hyun-soo revealed that they were the one who had left their past acquaintances behind, earning a sarcastic remark from their visitor about being diligent. Through this encounter, we catch glimpses of Hyun-soo's witty yet self-deprecating nature, as well as their struggles to maintain relationships and move forward from the past. As Hyun-soo engages in a casual conversation with a friend, the importance of diligence is emphasized, but it's also acknowledged that rules are meant to be respected at least for now. The pair finds themselves amidst a columbarium where snacking is strictly prohibited. Their companion wavers on whether breaking the rules is acceptable, only for Hyun-soo to demonstrate their own brand of compliance by disposing of any offending treats. A flashback reveals that this friend has previously indulged in snacks at a library, hinting at context-dependent rule bending. As the scene unfolds, Hyun-soo subtly expresses a desire to extricate themselves from the situation, leaving viewers wondering what lies ahead for this complex character. As Hyun-soo savors the moment with each slow drag of his cigarette, he's transported to a world of black and white films at the local movie theater. The familiar sight of an old film on the screen washes over him, and his thoughts drift back to past regrets and mistakes, lost in thought as the projector whirs on. But just as he becomes absorbed in his own memories, a woman's gaze catches his attention, her interest piqued by this quiet moment of introspection. As Hyun-soo returns to his cigarette, still lost in thought, the movie continues to play on its timeless charm, a reminder that even in solitude, life is full of unexpected connections waiting to be discovered. As the message arrives, hinting at a departure from the familiar routine, Hyun-soo begins to reflect on the life choices that have led them to this point. The desire to break free from the back and forth dynamics of their current situation drives their decision to move to another city, leaving behind the memories and emotional ties that bind them to Jisoo's home. Amidst these thoughts, Hyun-soo's gaze turns towards the possibility of marriage and building a new life with someone else. Yet, as they ponder this future, they confess an ambivalence towards revisiting Jisoo's home, seeking instead to honor their memories by only thinking of Jisoo once a year. As the conversation comes full circle, Hyun-soo distills their introspection into a poignant metaphor, lollipops left to rot, symbolizing relationships that have lost their sweetness and purpose. As Hyun-soo stands amidst a scattering of lollipops and cigarettes, the anniversary of their past relationships, and hangs heavy in the air like a weighty reminder of what could have been. Their thoughts are a jumbled mix of emotions, torn between acknowledging the good memories and dwelling on the pain of loss. Every year, the leftover treats serve as a painful reminder of her absence, making it difficult for Hyun-soo to move forward. A friend's words of wisdom offer some solace, urging them to quit smoking and prioritize their skin care. But amidst the advice, Hyun-soo can't help but crack a joke, using humor as a coping mechanism to mask the lingering pain. As the scene fades away, Hyun-soo is left with a mix of emotions, resignation laced with a hint of hope for the future. As the nostalgic tone settles in, Hyun-soo's words are laced with a hint of loneliness as he thanks someone for visiting him. The memories start to flood back, like the bittersweet taste of a forgotten lollipop, reminding him that Jisoo is no longer by his side. His thoughts become muddled as he reflects on the pain and hurt he's inflicted on others, his words heavy with regret and self-doubt. The weight of his past choices bears down upon him, and he's consumed by inner turmoil, questioning whether he made the right decisions. As the scene comes to a close, an offer of blue lemonade is extended, symbolizing a chance for Hyun-soo to start anew, to leave his regrets behind and forge a new path forward. As Hyun-soo walked into the cozy cafe, he was greeted by the warm aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the soft hum of gentle chatter. He made his way to the counter, his eyes scanning the menu before ordering a hot chocolate to go. "Please." The barista's query about what toppings or flavorings he'd like paused Hyun-soo, his thoughts drifting back to past regrets and mistakes that still lingered in his mind. As he stood there, lost in thought, the barista's words cut through his reverie once more, asking if he wanted to take the hot chocolate to go or have it ready when it was ready. With a decisive nod, Hyun-soo chose to wait for his drink, his eyes momentarily clearing as he refocused on the present moment. As Hyun-soo sits alone, a sense of unease settles over them. They can't shake the feeling that something is off about their life, like a puzzle piece that refuses to fit. The memory of an argument at work flashes before their eyes, a bitter reminder of the discord in their professional and personal relationships. Seeking solace in familiar comfort, Hyun-soo decides to re-watch a beloved black and white film with their friend or acquaintance, revisiting a moment from their past when life was simpler. As they gaze upon the silver screen once more, something remarkable happens. The nuances of symbolism, messianicity, and foreshadowing begin to reveal themselves in ways that went unnoticed before. As Hyun-soo's enthusiasm takes center stage, they vividly recount a memorable black and white film to their conversational partner, reliving the magic of its cinematic beauty. The discussion flows effortlessly as they marvel at their partner's recall of the film's transition from silent to sound, their surprise and delight palpable. But Hyun-soo doesn't stop there. They eagerly recommend the re-release of the film, extolling the joys of watching movies on the big screen. Meanwhile, beneath this cinematic fa-a-day, a different reality unfolds, one marked by a grueling schedule, filled with work and job applications that weigh heavily on their mind, leaving them feeling overwhelmed and stressed. As Hyun-soo walks away from the movie theater, lost in thought, they are suddenly confronted by someone who's been waiting for them. The other person teases Hyun-soo about being late, jokingly scolding them for bothering them and saying they'll be back another time. But Hyun-soo's response is a mix of sarcasm and vulnerability, revealing deep-seated insecurities and a possible sense of loneliness that lies beneath the surface. Despite the lighthearted banter, this brief conversation hints at underlying tensions and emotions, offering a glimpse into Hyun-soo's inner struggles and their relationships with others. As Hyun-soo steps into the confines of his high-rise apartment, a familiar craving takes hold, one last cigarette before freshening up. But alas, he's already indoors, rendering that momentary pleasure out of reach. Frustration sets in as he mentally replays the events leading to this inconvenience. The weight of his impulsive decision to live in a building with no convenience store on the same floor begins to bear down on him. He can't help but think that his desire for a majestic view was an ill-fated choice, one that now forces him to embark on an arduous journey downstairs just to brush his teeth. As night falls, Hyun-soo sits on their couch, their worried expression a testament to the turmoil brewing within. Attempting to clear their mind by listing tasks for the next day, they are instead consumed by memories of past regrets and mistakes. The fragments of their thoughts begin to manifest as disjointed images and texts, a surreal representation of their racing mind. As anxiety takes hold, the text becomes increasingly jumbled, reflecting Hyun-soo's growing frustration. Despite their best efforts, they are unable to quiet their thoughts, eventually surrendering to sleeplessness as they lie in bed, still tormented by the demons that haunt them. As Hyun-soo sits in contemplation, a look of puzzlement settles on their face as they struggle to comprehend the allure of a particular movie. The past suddenly comes flooding back, transporting them to the moment when they first watched it on the big screen. Memories from that fateful night begin to unfold like a cinematic tapestry, weaving together snippets of the story, captivating performances, and an atmosphere that left an indelible mark on Hyun-soo's psyche. Through this nostalgic reflection, we're granted a glimpse into the depths of their emotional state, where longing for something more fulfilling lingers, a poignant reminder of the profound impact that art can have on our lives. As Hyun-soo sits amidst the dimly lit room, surrounded by movie posters and cigarette smoke, the words, the good music on the cinema screen seem to fade into the background. His thoughts are transported back to a memorable moment when he felt truly alive, watching a black and white film with an unnamed friend or acquaintance at the theater. The memory sparks a sense of nostalgia as Hyun-soo's mind begins to wander through the present, where he finds himself disconnected from his life and struggling to find happiness. Regrets and mistakes start to surface, leaving him wondering if he should have done things differently. As the montage unfolds, we see glimpses of his past, showcasing moments of smoking, movie nights at the theater, and brief encounters with his friend/acquaintance, who seems to vanish just as quickly as they appear. The sequence concludes with Hyun-soo lost in thought, contemplating a change, possibly quitting smoking as he ponders the fleeting nature of beauty and happiness. As the college festival winds down, Yeo-un finds himself torn between the urge to leave with his friends and the desire to stay behind. Despite Jihan's attempts to persuade him otherwise, Yeo-un is determined to spend the night on the festival grounds, much to Hyun's surprise. His friend, whose name remains unspoken, tries to reason with him, pointing out that it's getting late, but Yeo-un refuses to budge. Seeking permission from his friend Hyun-soo, he asks if he can stay overnight, further solidifying his commitment to independence. As Yeo-un and his friends gather around, the topic of finishing a college festival project is on everyone's mind. T's still working on the mix, but Yeo-un's eager to get things wrapped up quickly, driven by a competitive spark within him. He inquires about the project's purpose. Is it for a client? What does it entail? The questions are met with arrivals from Jihan and Hae-in, who join the conversation and share their curiosity about the project's aim. Yeo-un reveals his motivation. He wants to seize this moment while the creative juices are flowing and won't rest until the task is complete. With that resolve in mind, Jihan proposes a solution, setting up a cot-in room for Yeo-un to work on the project overnight. As Yeo-un strolled through the vibrant college festival, with his friends Jihan and Hae-in by his side, he found himself lost in thought, pondering the possibilities of releasing a single or an EP. The sounds of laughter and music filled the air as they wandered around, but Yeo-un's mind was elsewhere, consumed by the creative spark within him. He shared his musings with his friends, who offered their unique perspectives on the matter, and soon the conversation evolved into a brainstorming session where ideas flowed freely like the excitement in their voices. As Yeo-un's enthusiasm grew, so did his inspiration, leaving him feeling invigorated and motivated by the end of their impromptu discussion. As the college festival buzzes with energy, Yeo-un finds themselves entangled in a thought-provoking discussion with a close friend. Concerns about sticking with singles versus releasing an EP arise as they ponder the pros and cons of each approach. With live shows out of the question, the friend expresses worries about less frequent releases and reduced exposure for the band. This concern extends to Yeo-un's own situation, with a collaboration dropping next month. The friend suggests exploring their sound through an EP during this extra time, sparking Yeo-un's contemplation. As the conversation unfolds, Yeo-un begins to weigh the benefits of releasing singles frequently against the desire to experiment with new ideas and demos they've accumulated. Ultimately, Yeo-un is left mulling over the possibilities, their thoughts swirling with the implications of each approach. As the college festival comes to life, Yeo-un takes a moment to unwind with his friends, sharing updates about his basketball game and receiving words of encouragement from Jihan. But before that, he's preoccupied with thoughts of releasing a new album, which is generating immense excitement among fans, and none can't wait for the upcoming drop. With no rush in sight, Yeo-un decides to spend the night at his friend's studio, where his niece has been honing her skills and impressing him. Jihan arrives on the scene, playfully teasing Yeo-un about leaving his niece alone. As the evening unfolds, we see the importance of friendship and support in Yeo-un's life, from his playful banter with Jihan to his pride in his niece's growth. And amidst all this camaraderie, there's a hint that music is a significant part of Yeo-un's identity. His upcoming album release is definitely generating buzz. As Yeo-un embarks on a journey of growth, She begins to break free from the confines of her own bubble, allowing her world to expand and connect with others. Despite lingering doubts about the commercial viability of her music, Yeo-un finds solace in the words of encouragement offered by her friend Jae-han, who believes that her relentless dedication will ultimately lead her to become a remarkable musician. As the college festival buzzes with excitement, Yeo-un Lee's eyes narrow in concentration as he attempts to master rhythm game. His frustration mounts, etched on his face like a map of self-doubt. Jae-han, noticing his struggles, approaches him with concern, while Hae-in joins the group, attempting to lighten the mood with conversation about Yeo-un's music career. But Yeo-un becomes defensive, correcting Hae-in's assumption and asserting his identity as a musician. The scene shifts abruptly, revealing Yeo-un in a more focused and engaged state during an interview prep session, his confidence seemingly renewed. As Yeo-un Lee stands alone in the library, his mind is consumed by the weight of decision-making. He ponders the intricate dance of words, realizing that even the smallest choice can drastically alter how others perceive him. The emptiness of the library only serves to fuel his thoughts, and he finds himself drawn to the vibrant banners of the upcoming college festival. With a sense of urgency growing within him, Yeo-un checks his schedule and is convinced that there's just enough time before his shift starts to attend this pivotal event. And so, he makes the bold decision to seize the day, embracing the excitement and possibility that lies ahead. As the college festival kicked off, a sense of monotony hung over the atmosphere, with nothing standing out from previous year's events. Yeo-un Lee wandered through the crowds, his unimpressed expression a stark contrast to the revelry around him. Everything seems so similar, he muttered to himself, his disappointment palpable as he surveyed the familiar faces and settings. The department's usual bar stood out, its presence a testament to the lack of innovation. As Yeo-un's gaze drifted away from the festivities, his focus shifted to the real prize, winning the free throw challenge. With determination burning in his eyes, he set his sights on claiming victory, his friends Jae-han and Hae-in lingering in the background, awaiting their involvement in the story to unfold. As the sun sets on the vibrant college festival, Yeo-un Lee finds himself surrounded by familiar faces and the thrill of competition. He notices Hae-in's friends' band taking the stage, and with a keen sense of camaraderie, he shares his discovery with Jae-han. The suggestion to attend their set is met with hesitation from Jae-han, however, as the allure of the basketball club's booth beckons. Undeterred, Yeo-un decides to join forces with friends from the club instead. Upon arriving at the booth, he exchanges warm greetings and inquires about his friends' progress, seeking updates on their day. As the college festival raged on, the basketball club's leader suddenly fell ill with food poisoning, leaving them in dire need of a substitute for just 10 minutes. Yeo-un Lee and his friends sprang into action, volunteering to fill the gap at the booth. To pass the time, Jae-han proposed a free throw challenge among the group members, met with enthusiastic applause. The rules were set. Each person would get 5 shots, and whoever scored more would emerge victorious. As they waited for their turns, Hae-in joined in on the fun, socializing with friends amidst the lively atmosphere. As the college festival buzzes with excitement, Yeo-un Lee finds himself entangled in a web of social dynamics and competitive instincts. The scene begins with a prize being given away, sparking a sense of urgency within him to win it all. His friend Jae-han suggests taking a break to grab some snacks, but Yeo-un's reluctance is palpable, revealing his competitive nature. Meanwhile, passers-by stop by, including one who inquires about the entrance fee for a nearby game, which prompts Hae-in's helpful input. As they take in their surroundings, the group can't help but notice a freshman couple strolling by, sparking speculations about their relationship. Throughout this lively scene, Yeo-un's friends showcase their unique personalities, from Jae-han's friendly demeanor to Hae-in's quick thinking. As the college festival kicked off, Yeo-un Lee and his friend Jae-han arrived at the bustling event, surrounded by colorful balloons and decorations that filled the air with excitement and anticipation. The dynamic duo soon found themselves drawn to the basketball club's free-throw shooting challenge, where Hae-in was already engaged in a spirited competition with her friends. With a confident swagger, Yeo-un stepped up to take on the challenge, his competitive spirit taking center stage as he showcased his impressive shooting skills. As the scene unfolded, Yeo-un remained focused and determined, pushing himself to win against formidable opponents and enthusiastic festival attendees alike. As Yeo-un Lee steps onto the court, his competitive spirit ignites, fueling a friendly rivalry with his friends Jae-hun and Hae-in during the college festival's basketball competition. The trio engages in a lively match, their banter and laughter filling the air as they shoot hoops and trash talk each other. But amidst the playful jabs, Yeo-un's desire to dominate shines through as he challenges another group to a game, vowing to destroy them. Despite his competitive nature, however, his fun-loving personality remains prominent, showcasing a side of him that balances his drive for victory with a sense of camaraderie and enjoyment. As the vibrant atmosphere of the college festival envelops him, Yeo-un Lee's eyes light up with nostalgia as he reminisces about his past basketball experiences with his friends Jae-hun and Hae-in by his side. Suddenly, a flashback transports him back to his high school days, where he was a competitive force on the court, relishing in the thrill of making free throws under pressure. The excitement builds as Yeo-un shares his eagerness to participate in the festival's free throw challenge, feeling it's been ages since he's laced up his sneakers and stepped onto the court. With passion and adrenaline coursing through his veins, Yeo-un is poised to relive the rush of scoring the basket, ready to join his friends for an unforgettable afternoon of fun and competition at the festival. As Yeo-un Lee strolled alongside his friend Jae-hun, a casual conversation sparked about the importance of settling some sort of debt. The nature of this financial obligation remained unclear, but it seemed to be weighing on Yeo-un's mind. Their arrival at the college festival brought new faces into view, including Hae-in, who joined in on their impromptu reunion. Meanwhile, Jae-hun was still scrambling to recall essential items, prompting Yeo-un to lend a helping hand. With his gear finally accounted for, Yeo-un revealed that he would be taking the stage later that day, but what kind of performance he had planned remained a mystery. As he took in the vibrant atmosphere of the festival, Yeo-un's excitement was palpable, setting the tone for an afternoon filled with laughter and camaraderie among friends. As Yeo-un strolls through the college festival with his friends, the atmosphere is filled with excitement and anticipation. Hae-in's mention of needing to return to her studio soon serves as a gentle reminder of responsibilities, but it's quickly overshadowed by Yeo-un's enthusiasm for playing a game together at the festival. Jae-hun's proposal of a snack-buying loser adds an element of friendly competition to their outing, and Yeo-un can't resist the temptation to join in on the fun, agreeing that this could be just what he needs, some food and camaraderie with his friends. As the college festival got underway, Yeo-un Lee boasted about his free-throw skills, claiming he could get a little closer to the basket since he wasn't a beginner anymore. His friend Jae-hun agreed, and they began setting up for the challenge. Just as things were about to start, Hae-in joined in, suggesting that T from their basketball club take the first shot. But Yeo-un's competitive streak got the better of him, and he convinced Jae-hun to let him go first instead, promising to watch T afterwards. The scene highlights Yeo-un's confident yet playful personality as he vies for attention amidst his friends' good-natured banter. As the college festival buzzes with excitement, Yeo-un Lee sets his sights on victory in the free throw challenge, his confidence and playful nature radiating from every step. A mysterious warning from an unknown entity serves as a gentle reminder not to push his luck too far, but Yeo-un's determination remains unwavering. With Jae-hun by his side, offering words of encouragement laced with playful jabs, Yeo-un readies himself for the competition. The scene shifts as Hae-in joins the group, injecting a burst of social energy into the atmosphere before the challenge begins. As the unknown opponent steps forward, possibly none other than Jae-hun himself, Yeo-un and his friend engage in some light-hearted trash talk, setting the stage for an electrifying contest. With the crowd waiting with bated breath, Yeo-un and his opponent face off, ready to unleash their skills in a battle of wills and shooting prowess. Yeo-un Lee confidently steps up to take his first free throw shot at the college festival's free throw challenge, his friends Jae-hun and Hae-in joining in on the fun with playful jabs. As Yeo-un boasts about his skills, Jae-hun teases him about trying to cheat by using his signature shooting stance, while Hae-in adds to the light-hearted atmosphere with her witty remarks. The group takes turns attempting their free throws, with Yeo-un's friends jokingly accusing him of showboating as they escalate their friendly competition and banter. In a moment of self-psyche, Yeo-un pretends to be in an intense game situation, prompting Jae-hun and Hae-in to playfully mock his dramatics. Despite the jests, Yeo-un still manages to make his shot, showcasing his competitive spirit as the group continues their free-throw challenge. Here is your Manhwa recap video narration. As the college festival raged on, Yeo-un Lee's excitement reached a fever pitch as he shared with his friends the thrill of the upcoming free-throw challenge. Joining him was Jae-hun, a sign of their friendly camaraderie, while Hae-in's casual inquiry about Yeo-un's whereabouts hinted at a deeper connection among them. As they munched on snacks, Yeo-un revealed his competitive streak, discussing sugar boosts to fuel his performance in the competition. This laid-back gathering showcased Yeo-un's playful personality and highlighted the importance of teamwork and shared experiences among friends.